what we're here for.
Equal parts. Oh my gosh.
Illegal. Strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Not gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
I got boxes full of Pepe! What?
Put your drum up. Thanks, Jeff, for the question.
Everything are the same word.
You should be ashamed of yourself for having that thought.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Come on!
That's hot.
Are you not entertained?
Don't be creepy. In the Ice Age, how much taxes did people pay?
China. I have to have my China.
I'm staying in the race.
Oh, never occurred to me.
There's no point in you betraying your future self to gratify your present self. It's a stupid game. This is from 12 Moves for Life.
I cannot believe how people come for you already. I don't know if you know this.
I see that you know your Judeo.
Phrasing.
I don't want reality.
Oh, it never occurred to me.
Interesting.
It's just
That's
crazy enough to work.
Yeah.
Consequences. So hot right now. I see that you know your judo well.
Follow the rich white man.
Zuckerbuck. Illegal.
What now?
Don't even play.
Break now.
Drum up.
I made a huge tiny mistake.
Your name, please?
A fucking thing.
Donald Trump spent a lot of quality time with my wife.
Illegal.
I did everything right and they indicted me.
Winter is coming.
That's hot.
Rid of the Second Amendment.
Illegal.
You supercalifragilisticexpialidocious bitch.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed! Anti-Semitic.
We've been talking about saving the Amazon for 30 years. Almost 30 years ago, Sting held a concert to save the Amazon right here in New York, and we're still talking about it. The world's largest rainforest, the Amazon, is crucial to any climate change solution for its capacity to sequester carbon, for its biodiversity, for its fresh water, for the air we breathe, for our morality. And it is on fire. When a room in your house is on fire, you don't say there's a fire in a room in my house, you say my house is on fire. And we only have one house. Sorry. Greed is winning the battle for the Amazon. And what we've done to preserve the Amazon, what we worked so hard for, is being purposefully undone. We need to protect what we have. We need to restore what we have lost. And we need to defund the mechanisms, the perverse tax subsidies, the lending policies, and the institutional investments that fuel deforestation. It's understood that the protection It is understood that the protection and preservation of tropical forests can achieve at least 30% of the emissions reductions we need to protect the planet. On behalf, my goodness, I'm so sorry. In the movies we get to do it over. And without the Amazon, without securing the largest standing tropical forest in the world, we cannot achieve a climate solution, and nothing else we do will matter. Thanks to the Letitia Pact, a framework for recognizing and protecting the valuable forest and its peoples, signed by the governments of Guyana, Suriname, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Brazil, there is a way forward. Thank you, President Duque, for your leadership in formulating the pact. But this initiative, this pact, must have funding. It must have teeth. It must have legislative legitimacy. Conservation International has been working in Amazonia for over 30 years. And we are here now to stand with you, to put funding, to put teeth in this ambition. President Macron, we're sincerely grateful to the French government, which has committed to investing in this effort with a $100 million contribution. Thank you. It's a great start.
Well, here we are again. Sundays. Still much to talk about, but hopefully not too much doom. Now let's get right to it, folks. Don't forget to buckle up those seatbelts, as this journey through the abyss may be dangerous. Alright. Well. It is good to see all of you folks. I think we're going to call this the second day of the Halloween Advent calendar, which is like a week long. Starting yesterday, we started unveiling the decorations. As you see here, we have more that you're going to be able to see later. But first, I must shout out people in chat. We got Anti-Corporatist, Moanop, and PB123 in the YouTube chat. Then, Schmegly, who else we got here? Miskatonic Petrol and Soda Fountain. Bob Garmity. Soul Life, Styx Dragon Sharon. Unfortunately, I only remembered the first three. I only sort of wound up refreshing this at one point. Who else we got? Moa Noah. Geo Dragon. Shade Dragon. So many dragons already here in the chat. Did I say Aaron W already? Either way, Aaron W, good to see you. Becky D. The Soulcraft. Interesting. I don't think I've even seen the Soulcraft here before, but welcome to the channel. Tamara Chance. I think that's it. Alright, well, we got a lot to talk about today, but we are going to try and keep it at least 33% fun or more. That's my guarantee today. Alright, in quotations, well, with asterisk. No refunds allowed. Alright, let's start with a little comedy. Go, Web, go.
What sucks about Tampa? Tell me.
Too many people are moving.
Yeah, it's overcrowded.
Too many people are moving here.
Illegal.
Is that true, or are some of these people here right now? You're like, oh, I just got here. What the fuck? Oh, I thought the South was supposed to be friendly. What the hell?
Wow.
Jesus Christ. Oh, wow. Who knew you wouldn't be pro-immigration here? Okay, I'm sorry. Forgive me. That's a very exciting announcement. Half these people just said, get the fuck out of Tampa. And then the moment you made it personal, we're like, yay! Another one! You fucking liars! That's the whole fucking thing! It's a real human being! I want you to remember that moment for the rest of your goddamn lives. Where were you before?
Russia, then Canada, then here.
Wow. And so you like this more than Canada?
Me? Yeah, sure.
Wow. Confident answer.
Was that the whole test? They were like, all right, question number one. You like here more than Canada? Oh, yeah, sure, yeah. What did you have to do? What was the test?
A bunch of questions that a lot of us would not know the answer to.
Okay. Okay, who was the guy that earlier, when it was said Tampa, someone said, get the fuck out? Yeah? What's your name? Mike. Okay. Mike, can you play ball with me for a second? Tell me one of the questions, and we want to see if Mike's going to get it.
Your U.S. representative for where you live, specifically.
Real quick, how many of these do you have to get right to pass?
There's 100 questions you have to memorize. They're going to ask you 10. You have to know up to 6. They're only going to ask you 10 out of the 100.
Okay, so Mike, you're already down 1. If you want 3 more, you have to go to Russia. We agree?
Okay, hopefully that started off this Sunday Funday with a bit of levity, perhaps some chuckles. At least for a few people in here. I just found that to be hilarious. Perfectly sort of, what's the word? I can't think of it right now. like in terms of crowd work, like his sort of ability to weave that in there, get this guy essentially involved in this situation very quickly. it just worked out so perfectly. All right. I guess he's moving to Russia. That's my guess. I could be wrong. I don't know. All right, now let's go to a not fun story. And in fact, this story is the opposite of fun, which is why I figured I'd get it out of the way now. Although there's also a few other non-fun stories peppered throughout the day, not gonna lie. But yeah, like I was saying, let's try and get some of this out of the way now. Here, I'll read this for you right now, because it's super tiny on the screen, I'm pretty sure. On October 2nd, 2 officers from the Niagara Regional Police paid a visit to the home of immigration and refugee lawyer Joanna Berry. They tell Miss Berry that they are there on behalf of the Ottawa Police Department for social media posts that were, quote-unquote, critical of Israel.
Illegal.
Oh, Niagara, it's in Canada, so do at least keep that in mind. The complaint was filed by 10 lawyers who are of the Jewish faith, who said that, quote-unquote, you've been putting some things on your personal social media. You are walking a line. Well, this was actually... Well, it was filed by that, but then these were some of the quotes, actually. But let's just go to the actual event. I'm just going to skip ahead to that, because this is insane. Oh, actually, it's going to go straight to it. Okay.
All right, gentlemen, can you please declare yourselves and your purpose for being here?
Mike Ryan, I'm Detective Sergeant with the Niagara Regional Police, badge number 9234.
And Lupe Damiano, Detective Niagara Regional Police, badge 9664.
Thank you.
May we sit, or do you want to sit?
Oh, please, yeah, go ahead. Let me move my mail out of the way.
So, Joanna, basically...
I'm not going to film your faces. I just wanted to get that statement.
Yeah.
But, you know,
yeah,
okay.
No, fair is fair. So, you said free speech, all of that. You're very much aware of why we're here in the sense that you've been putting some things on your personal social media.
According to... From whom is this complaint originating, and what's the allegation?
It's with the Law Association of Ontario.
Law Association of Ontario? Law Society?
Society, sorry, yeah.
They're making an allegation I've done something criminal?
No. Well, it is a criminal investigation.
That I've done something criminal?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Can I just give a little blurb, and then I'll answer any questions, and you can say anything. So, Law Association of Ontario. I guess there's a series of 10 lawyers who are of the Jewish faith, who are of the opinion. Yeah, I know. Just hear me.
My partner is Jew, by the way.
Okay. So the investigators.
I bet I can guess exactly who these people are.
Yeah, and I'm not here to speak to any of that, but
I have not threatened anyone.
Okay. So basically, you're walking a line, and some people can I have just 2 minutes, and then.
No, I can tell you right now that this, to me, is a total escalation of fascism. Okay. This is, I have never threatened anyone. Criticism of Israel, criticism of extreme political Zionism does not amount to anti-Semitism.
I hear you, and I'm
my
a big
spouse
big
is
proponent
an anti-Zionist Jewish person.
Yeah.
Okay? So I know what my civil liberties are. And the fact that you were here is a nightmare to me.
Okay.
This is like a dystopic novel. This is very Orwellian. And you should be ashamed.
Okay.
I mean, the fact is that this is incredibly Orwellian, as she put it. I mean, if this isn't a fascism, right? It's not as if she's out there. This is a immigration rights and I'm sorry, civil rights lawyer. I think I couldn't remember her exact title. The point is she's out there just doing her job, right, and saying things that are true. And yet she has police inside of her house right now questioning her about supposed criminal activity which is being, as they just stated, supposed criticism of Israel. Right? And I would love to see some other, and I know these don't exist, that's why I'm saying it this way, but I would love to see some videos of people out there being visited by police for criticism of literally any other country. Any other country. Including Canada or the United States.
What is it? I've said exactly that's criminal.
Yeah.
Tell me.
I don't have the whole file and everything that's criminal. I just know that there's a series of unwanted messages to various lawyers.
Who? No one has said stop messaging me.
Well, that's exactly why we're here. We're here to say stop messaging people on.
That's why we're here. You heard that, right? So the police, instead of these adults, I assume that she's messaging adults because this is a law association and a group of lawyers who are, unless they're suddenly, I'm not too brushed up on Canadian law. Maybe there are child lawyers, like not lawyers for children, but child, like, you know, non-adult lawyers. I don't know. But my assumption is these are adults who can either, you know, click block, click report, click reply, and say, fuck you, I don't agree with what you're saying, or whatever else, right? Instead, I don't understand how the police are here for this, right? Because no police should be leaving the station or whatever else, stopping what they're doing for this kind of garbage. This is insanity. But that's what's happening. 2 detectives in her home asking questions because of that. I wonder, try this sometime. If you see a social media post that you don't appreciate, somebody replies to a YouTube video, try and report that to the police and get somebody to go to their house over it or something. See how that goes.
And their personal X account.
They can tell me if they don't want me to comment on their messages, but they. Do you want to see the death threats I've received? Do you want to? I'm going to post all of this, by the way. Yeah. If they don't want me to, if they want to post things that are anti-Arab, anti-Palestinian, Islamophobic, inciting of whipping up race wars within Canada, which is what I am trying to prevent, by the way. You saw what happened in the UK.
So sorry.
You saw what happened in the UK.
Did he? I don't know. I don't. I mean, she's saying that. She's saying, I don't know if they do know that. I think she's much more knowledgeable on this subject than these 2 guys. Not gonna lie. I could be wrong. But I mean, that's a pretty. It's not a fringe case, but it's just like it didn't get a ton of media attention.
You saw what happened in the UK. A bunch of white nationalists went after refugees and refugee lawyers. Okay.
Actually, I take it back. It did get some media attention.
Person in particular.
I take it back, but it got out of the news pretty quickly. But now I guess, you know what? Now I think about it, Canada covered it more than the United States did. Guardian, like Channel 4, all these. I guess those are British news, so, but I associate them with Canada too. I don't know why, but I guess my point is, like CBC and some of the, like, trying to think of what the other. God, my brain is broken today.
But what I am doing is condemning people who are using those platforms to whip up hate. If they don't want to hear it, they can say, please stop messaging me. They can block me. The fact that they're calling you is outrageous. And the fact that you are wasting taxpayers' money to bother me about my and impinge upon my civil liberties to threaten me in this way is outrageous. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Just for clarity, we're not conducting this investigation. We're here.
So did you hear that? They're not even conducting the investigation. They're literally just here to threaten her and tell her to stop messaging people on social media. This is insanity.
Help! I'm being repressed!
Police services. So they reached out to us and said, can you go talk to Joanne and just let her know that
wow. Can you go talk to Joanne? Can you go talk to Joanne? Just like a friendly, like a personal call. It sounds like they had this investigator's, this detective's number and called them personally. Said, would you go intimidate this woman for us, please?
tell me that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be suppressed into silence because some bigots in Ottawa who hate Muslims and hate Arab people can't handle when I push back against that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are here, this kind of bullying is outrageous.
Well, I don't know if it's quite bullying.
This is bullying and intimidation. I'm outraged. I am so outraged. This is neo-fascism. And in its worst form, it starts...
She didn't say fascism. She said neo-fascism. That was bad. I think that was bad. I'm pretty sure that was bad subtitling. I could be wrong.
This way. It starts with you coming to my home because some person can make some, anonymous complaint because I comment on saying, I bet you.
Okay. We could watch the rest of it, but it's just more of this. It's just disturbing. Truly disturbing. Because if this is the direction that we're headed in, I mean, pretty sure there's some people in chat, including myself, who might be, maybe should be expecting some visits. I don't know. Is this where we're at? Is police state? Or does that full on? This is Canada, of course. Haven't seen any examples of this in the U.S. technically yet. I don't actually. Wait, let me think. Not specifically with regards to lawyers. I'm trying to think if anybody has been arrested for social media posts in the United States over this particular issue. I don't think it has. Anyway, all right, let's move on to the election because we got a whole lot to talk about that. Trump did a MSG rally. Tim Walz played video games with AOC on live stream. I think it was a live stream, although I couldn't find the actual live stream for whatever reason. Hulk Hogan made some claims. JD Vance went on CNN. All sorts of shit we gotta talk about here. But first, let's start off with the election talk with this. And I'm thinking I might get copyright claims for this particular choice. But it's Sunday Funday. I refuse to not have fun.
I hope you've all registered to vote because, like Matt Gaetz at a high school dance, the election is ominously approaching. I, for one, am excited with 21 days to go. We still have no idea who the is going to win. And that's all thanks to one very special group of morons.
With 21 days until Election Day, the race to the White House, it is getting tighter, and the candidates are putting a laser focus on undecided voters.
Undecided voters in battleground states could decide it all.
That small sliver of undecided voters, they're going to make or break this election.
Yes, the undecided voter, otherwise known as the not so smart. People who can't seem to find distinctions between two people who seem to have an unending list of them. Like in many ways they are polar opposite on practically all things. So having a difficult time figuring out where to go on that essentially means that you don't quite grasp politics. You don't actually have a political opinion, right? Like you wait until a week before the election to even think about politics. The rest, the 358 days of the year, you don't know what's going on.
Oh, yes, undecided voters. The same people you see at the ice cream shop asking for 12 mini spoon samples. It's a $3 cone, asshole. How is anyone still undecided in this election? At this point, choosing a candidate should be easy. Look, it's like a lube salesman deciding if he should swing by P. Diddy's house. He has all the information he needs. But after all...
Okay. Let's move it along. To this. This was yesterday. Joe Biden decided to bring reinforcements to a local Harris campaign office in Pittsburgh. Where's my sound? Why don't I have sound?
I'm staying in the race.
Oh shit, you have 20 likes now?
Everybody, good to see you. Hey.
Okay, please hold. And you also have 2 rollover characters from yesterday. So let's see. We gotta start. Hold on. I'll just roll them all. I'll roll the other 2. I already rolled the first 2. 15. 19. Okay, let's see. Start from the bottom. Got a Captain Planet up in here. It's Ripley from Alien. Pink Panther? Yeah. And another. Did we have Worf yesterday too? Yeah, we did. 2 Worfs in a row. 2 days in a row. 2 Worfs in a row. Okay. And let me just do the other screen, because just in case we have lag problems, I need to have both of these set up now. I have a feeling we're going to have a ton of emotional support characters by the end of this. There's that. Give me Pink Panther. Give me Ripley from Alien. And what was the other one? Yes, Captain Planet. He's our hero. Gonna bring pollution down to 0. Hopefully we can live up to such standards. All right, here we go. Reinforcements from Joe Biden. A Joe Biden time.
A little break. Someone brought you a well-deserved snack. Look at this here. We roll with Fury here. Look at this.
I'm staying in the race.
Oh, Jesus Christ. And he brought Fetterman with him?
We got a nice spot. Let everybody see that Fury. This man knows his pizza. He knows his pizza.
It's wonderful to see you.
I mean, he's in Pennsylvania. It does actually make sense, even if it's annoying as shit. Not that it's, I mean, not that it really changes anything. Anyway, let's move on. Looks like Joe Biden is here. He's trying to get everybody all, you know, energized, both with mood and food. Pizza isn't amazing. I agree. If we could have pizza on the Galactic Space Station every day as our own sort of, you know, victuals, our own sort of nourishment, and oh god, it would be fantastic. And it wouldn't be healthy, I don't think, technically. Every day, no. I don't think that checks out. But it does sound delicious. Oh boy, people are offering up pizza in chat. You're making me very hungry. All right, that's it. Ending the stream. I'm going to go get some food. Just kidding. All right, what's next? Seriously, what is next? Actually, shit. Fuck. Why did I put this? Oh, I screwed up. How did this happen? Whatever. I don't know why and or how I did this. My organizational skills today were lacking. I woke up so late. Whatever. Yeah, let's go here and talk social media. How it will perhaps influence the election and other things like that.
Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg has been quoted as saying that social media is a reflection of society. But researchers at New York University have concluded that it's not an accurate reflection. They say it's more like a funhouse mirror, distorted by a small but vocal minority of extreme outliers. It's a finding that has special resonance in this election season. NYU psychology professor Jay Van Bavel is one of the authors of the paper that reported that research. Mr. Van Bavel, are there particular topics or issues that tend to be distorted more than others?
Yeah, it tends to happen for all kinds of issues online, but there are many issues where they found, for example, less than 1% of people are spreading the most amount of misinformation about them.
Is it possible to characterize who these people are and why they're doing it?
One of the big factors that seems to be driving this is that it's people with extreme beliefs or extreme political ideologies, and they tend to be posting by far the most content. And so therefore, when we tune in, we're mainly seeing views from the extremes.
But what motivates them? Why are they doing it?
They motivate it for a lot of reasons. One is that they're passionate about it. And whether we're talking about politics or Taylor Swift fans, it's something that like motivates them to go and share their thoughts. But many people are also doing it because they're trying to convince others. They're trying to push it like their beliefs, but also a little bit like propaganda.
And you say it's all sorts of topics, but are there are some that are particularly prevalent in this manner?
Yeah, one of the big ones is politics. A very small proportion of people are posting the vast majority of content about political issues.
And what's the real world effect of this?
One of the real world effects is that when people tune in, they get misperceptions about what the average person believes. So if I log into social media and I see post after post after post by people who are extreme, it misleads me to believe what the average person on the street believes.
And what's the effect of that?
The effect is that it can lead to what's called false polarization, that we think that people are far more extreme in the real world than they actually are. And that can lead us to disengage from people who are different than us or belong to different parties or groups.
What's the chicken the egg here? What is it that the political divisions drive this distortion, or are the distortions driving the political division?
We think it's a little bit of both. Certainly that we're at the point of polarization in America that's greater than any point in the last 40 years. And it's driven more now by out-group hate than in-group love. So that means a lot of people are feeling more hostile, and so they're more motivated and outraged to post more content. But what it does...
I love that they... Actually, no, I take it back. The way that it's framed makes it seem like people who want to keep abortion are legalized as extreme, which is fucking idiotic. But there is the MAGA hat in there, so I guess maybe they were trying to show some sort of... This is one of the things I hate about PBS, though, where they try to play the center constantly as if it's like the moral path to take, when in fact, there's some clear distinctions these days that can be made. And suggesting somehow in this, by throwing this picture here, that people who believe abortion should remain legal as being the same as people who want to take it away, being morally equivalent in this particular circumstance, I find it's pretty disturbing from PBS. It's the sort of garbage that they come up with on the rag. All right, let's go here to Reuters, talk about why we may not know who won the election until days after.
What? In 2020, media outlets weren't able to declare the winner for 4 days after the election. And this year, we expect it's going to take even longer. Polls are showing that this is likely to be one of the closest elections in U.S. history between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. There are 7 states that are considered battlegrounds. Every single one of those states is essentially tied, according to the polls, with very small margins in one direction or the other. There are a lot of people who vote by mail. In Pennsylvania, the most important swing state by consensus, almost 2 million voters have requested mail ballots. And mail ballots take longer to count. In a couple of the swing states, particularly Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, state law doesn't allow election officials to touch those votes until election day. So because of a host of reasons, the historic closeness of the election, the number of mail ballots that voters are using to cast their votes, and the different procedures that these various battleground states use to tabulate those votes after election day, all of those are going to contribute to what's going to be a long time before we can actually say who won this election.
Yeah, I just think it's an important thing to remind ourselves of as we head into this situation.
What got you excited to come to the Trump rally today?
That, to discount narratives that are released too soon, and to stay sort of level-headed through the situation. Because we got a long way to go here, and that's not the reason why. Because there will be a long way to go after the actual initial day in terms of counting and actually determining who's won. And we've already seen that there's definitely at least a gender disparity in early voting right now. Quite a large margin. I think it's 60 to 40 women to men. Which means that there will probably be quite a few Kamala votes, according to the current statistics showing Kamala being up nearly 20 points with women to Trump. It's almost a guarantee that those votes will be heavily Kamala favored. All right, now let's go here. We watched a little snippet of this yesterday. I figured we'd watch some more for fun.
What got you excited to come to the Trump rally today?
He's a good man. I love him. We need him. He saved the country.
You love him?
Yeah, I think he's a good man. What do you think?
Why? When did you decide he was such a good man?
2016. I liked his words, and I like he did everything he said he was going to do, and he did it.
What are some of those things that he said and then he did? Maybe just one thing. One thing he said and then he did.
He caught me off guard there. I just...
This guy has truly not spent any time actually formulating that opinion of his. All vibes. All vibes. He just loves that Trump says things that he's not supposed to say. Right? Things that in this society we had decided a while ago weren't okay. And he came in and said, you know what? No, that's not. We're going to go back to saying all the worst stuff. Okay, everybody? And, you know, he doesn't. It's hilarious because he starts off by saying, I love Trump. We need him. And the reason why is because he did everything that he said he was going to do. And then literally couldn't name a single one of those everything. One of that. Oh, boy.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
This is two truths and a lie about Mark Robinson. You have to tell us which one you think the lie is. Mark Robinson has stated that his favorite historical photo is of Hitler and Mussolini.
Illegal.
Mark Robinson has declared bankruptcy 3 times. Mark Robinson has not declared bankruptcy 3 times. Which one do you think is the lie?
Oh my god! I just love the way that he framed that, because it makes it so that the only way to answer this wrong. Well, actually, no. Well, I take it back. The way he frames it is that he makes it obvious that the most horrifying thing that he said was in fact true, right? And so if you pick it, not only are you stupid, but you're incredibly gullible. And because like he puts the same, he just puts the what do you call it? Like oh my god, my brain just fucking broke. Like the binary situation, like a binary answer inside of a 3-part question, and it just makes it complete nonsense. It just kills me. Oh god.
One. So you think that he declared bankruptcy 3 times and he did not declare bankruptcy 3 times? Are the two truths?
You have those two together because they cancel out.
Yeah.
These two are fucking detectives. Holy shit.
So he did declare bankruptcy 3 times.
They're like running away from it.
He did
right
state that his favorite historical photo is of Hitler and Mussolini.
Okay.
Okay, what can we say?
Okay, what can we say? I mean, that's, you know, it's a thing. People, he said it, and how am I supposed to?
No?
Oh my god. Oh boy.
Okay.
What do you love about Donald Trump?
That he's not for communism.
That he's not for communism?
Right.
So, do you plan to vote for Mark Robinson?
I do.
Okay. Donald Trump said that Mark Robinson is Martin Luther King Jr. times 2, Martin Luther King Jr. on steroids. And then Mark Robinson said that Martin Luther King Jr. was a communist in his autobiography.
Yeah, it's all new news to me, so I'm just trying to grasp it all.
But
There is a YouTube
your big
video
thing
of
was that Donald Trump not a communist.
I believe.
Correct.
But you are on board with Mark Robinson,
So far.
who Trump says is like Martin Luther King Jr.
So far.
But Mark Robinson says that Martin Luther King Jr. is a communist. So I'm trying to figure out how that would work.
wait, what?
Could you drum up?
I'm very confused. I'm very, very confused.
Thanks, Jeff, for the question.
We're trying to figure it all out right now.
We're trying to figure it out right now.
What proof have you
It's very confusing to us too. It doesn't make any sense.
that it was stolen, the 2020 election?
Just all them ballots and COVID coming in.
All
where
them
people can just mail
ballots.
in whatever they want to mail in. It's just unreal. You should.
You think COVID was related to the 2020 election?
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah.
Sent here for that reason. Oh yes.
COVID was sent here for influencing the 2020
Jesus
election?
Christ.
It was all a big old plan, and it's all going to come out in the end, and we're just waiting for that day and praying for that day, and it's going to come.
And we've lost loved ones. My best friend lost her daughter at 28 years old to COVID. There's no sense in that. No sense.
Yeah, I mean, millions.
Oh my god! So she recognizes the COVID is bad, but it was actually a deep state weapon sent by. I assume what she's gonna say is
China.
People died, over 1 million in America, millions around the world. You think it's infected people all over the world, a global pandemic, just to influence the 2020 election?
States of America, yes.
That's how evil they are, just like he was saying. All those people that's on the
But who did it? Who did it? Who released the virus?
China and Democrats.
police, all the
China or the Democrats?
Both of them. They work together. They're both evil. They're both evil.
China and Democrats work together to release COVID to influence the 2020 election?
In November 2019, and saw China wearing that mask, and I said, our country, if
You
it
said-
becomes our country,
she saw
wearing that
China
mask,
wearing
we're
that
done.
mask.
And what happened?
even her friend is like, "Ooh, you really sound. You see your face? Hold on, go back. See your face." She's like, "Ooh, you sound real dumb." When I saw China wearing that mask.
Illegal.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I have to have my China.
What are you talking about? The country, like the geography of the whole. I'm confused. Everybody was wearing one mask. She seems real smart though. Her and her friend, they both seem like a winning duo. Real Thelma and Louise.
The masks were done, and what happened? 3 months later, we were wearing masks everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's the saddest thing that's ever happened to our country.
But it was all millions of people all died just to influence the presidential race in the United States of America?
Illegal.
Where the Democrats go in.
Help! Help! I'm being repressed!
Paid and bought for.
Global pandemic. I guess kind of a related question. Are you supporting Mark Robinson for governor?
Yes, we are.
Several of his rallies too.
For everything he has to say.
We want God.
That tracks.
If Kamala Harris wins, you're saying people are going to come and live in your home?
I think so.
That people are going to come live in your home, for example? That people...
Why is it the Chinese Democrat Party has to come here to America and make us? I'm sorry, I can't. I can't keep going. It's out of control already. I must stop.
I made a huge, tiny mistake.
Is China a person? I don't know. I mean, hard to say. It's not clear. It's not clear. All right. Well, there's been like 17,000 rallies in the last day, I think. Something like that. It's not. Don't quote me on that, but it feels like it's been at least 16,400 rallies in about a week have happened. Let's look at some of those. First, we'll go to this. This was at a Harris campaign event. This one should be at least moderately fun for some. One might not get me copyright struck, but I cannot. Alright, I'm just going to move it forward to when he starts talking. Hopefully that will avoid getting copyright struck. Is this full volume? Come on, PBS. How are we supposed to rock out to this?
Mama, don't let them babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars, drive them old trucks. Make them be doctors, lawyers. Mama, grow up to be cowboys. They'll never stay home. They're always alone.
So how's everybody doing? Tucker said the reason we wore masks was for control. Tucker, when you say Tucker, I assume you mean Tucker Carlson. Control, like, so we would, like, it was sort of like they were incepting us with the idea of control so that we would accept it. Later, when they try and come and tell us they're canceling the white race.
And if you don't understand him and he don't die young, he'll probably just ride away. Mama, don't let you baby.
Is it as quiet for everyone else as it is for me? Because this is, like, genuinely I'm struggling to hear it. Although I do have the volume jacked down on my head, like on my headphone output, just so I can give you all the loudest and clearest. But like I'm looking at my levels right now for this, and it's not great.
They'll never stay home. They're always alone. Even with someone they love. Cowboys like smoky old pool room and clear mountain mornings. Little warm puppies, the children and girls of the night. Them that don't know him won't like him, and them that do sometimes won't know how to treat him. He ain't wrong, he's just different. His pride won't let him do things to make you think he's right.
Okay, I think that's probably good enough for me. I wish I could enjoy this, but I can't hear it at all. I don't know if anybody else is struggling as well, but let's move it along. We got plenty of other stuff to do and hear on this Sunday Funday, leading into Halloween week. I mean, really, it already feels like Halloween around here, doesn't it? Like, we already got some of the decorations up. By the way, you're all going to be seeing some more of them pretty soon once we take our first break. But before we do that, we got more stuff to talk about. We're going to keep talking music, actually, because a quasi-political commentator slash comedian slash actor slash musician Tim Heidecker has come out with a bombshell of a well, I mean, career announcement.
Creativity should be completely intertwined with like communion of friendship, you know, and doing stuff with people you want to do stuff with. I've sort of discovered in my 40s that these were guys that seemed a lot like me, that had the same sense of humor, that they didn't have to leave their sense of humor at the doorstep.
See, I knew it. Thank you for telling me. See, I knew it. In my head, I just couldn't think of it because I'm not like a Like, there's nothing wrong with Willie Nelson or anything, but like I just couldn't like. It's not like I'm just like not like the world's biggest Willie Nelson fan or anything. I couldn't think of it. But I was like, dude, I swear to God, this guy has a nickname because like I'm pretty sure a bunch of them have nicknames. I don't know what the deal was. I don't know. It was like I feel like it was a generational folk / country singer thing to do. Is like you can't just have a name, okay? You have to have a name, but you also need a nickname. You can't be big unless you do. I'm so glad to know that. It makes me so much. I genuinely feel a lot better now.
Same sense of humor, that they didn't have to leave their sense of humor at the doorstep. I'm not a revolutionary. I don't want to burn down the whole system necessarily, but definitely poke it with a hot stick. I'm not gonna go down in history. Only my family will remember me. I think it's all going in that direction, the music. I've waited for the past 10 years. I've been testing the waters and talking about things that are a little more personal and a little more private, and getting more comfortable doing that. And so half this record is definitely that, and I think the other half of the songs are a little less. They're a little more storytelling experiments or storytelling exercises. But the stories I'm telling in those songs are very much connected to my own anxieties and fears and existential dread. Yeah.
Do you have that a lot, or do you think it just makes for good storytelling?
I think it feels very relevant. The subject of there's songs that deal with kind of this post-apocalyptic hellscape world and people suffering, and it all sounds like a lot of fun, I know, but yeah, I think I'm a fan of those kinds of TV shows and movies. I don't see it a lot in rock music, or in pop music, but it is fertile material for me to think about. I think about like the Talking Heads song "Life During Wartime," and then their other song "Nothing But Flowers," which is like the opposite of that song a little bit.
So yeah, if you didn't quite get what the announcement was here, it's that Tim Heidecker has decided to get serious with music in the sense that he is going to be doing not so much comedy, but more serious and even political sort of music that discusses difficult topics. A big change for Tim, I would say, in terms of much of his career. So it's cool. I think that's interesting. I think a lot of people are familiar with him for different reasons, whether it be the Tim and Eric show or from his appearances on the Majority Report. I think a lot of people, at least here on this stream, probably know him from there. But he's certainly done all sorts of stuff over the years. And this is a big sort of change here, but since it's quasi-political, or at least sort of like political tangential, I figured we would just get in there. All right, now let's get back to the more serious politics stuff. This is well, here's the Majority Report with Sam Cedar.
Awesome. Hey, this is the Soy Pill from YouTube. Long-time fan, long-time caller. Thanks for finally taking me. I actually wanted to provide maybe a counter, maybe some hopium, as per that last caller, talking about the disorganization of the Trump campaign. I know you guys might be familiar with the rally kickouts at Coachella in Georgia. Do you guys know about that?
Yeah, my understanding, the reason why the rally goers did not get back and why they were stranded is because they started to physically accost a couple of the bus drivers, and the bus drivers got together and said, "We're not dealing with this. This is insane."
Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, so I was there at the Coachella one. The other part was that the bus drivers were told the buses were going to stop at 2 p.m., which was not the case. I mean, the rally ended at like 8, so a bunch of people were stranded. And it was just sad watching all those people out there for 4 hours. I had to walk an hour and a half back in the parking lot. But those are the obvious cases. What I wanted to ask about is if you guys have heard of the Trump Force 47 volunteer campaign website.
Trump Force 47.
Okay, so I think this is the official campaign for volunteers, and 2 or 3 of the times that I've tried to sign up for these events, I go to these and they're just completely abandoned. So there was a VP watch debate party in LA. I sign up, I RSVP, I get there, the doors are locked. There's one other guy there with me who's, the only Trump supporter there. And there's just no information. The call redirects to a completely different person. So that's completely abandoned. So I go back on the site. I apply for a phone banking, a training. And it's for
Wait,
Georgia.
now to be clear, this is Agenda 47. Is that it?
Trump Force 47.
Or Trump Force 47. Okay.
Yeah. And so signing up for this phone banking, this Zoom training where they say, hey, let's go door knock, let's go call. We get into this Zoom training. It's me and my friend, 2 undercover Democrats, and there's no one else there. It's just the volunteers.
I mean, if what this caller is saying is true, I mean, it's not only hilarious, but certainly paints the state of the Trump campaign in a particularly incompetent and sort of less energized than sort of touted way, which I found hilarious. Oh, God. Specifically that there were more Democrats to show up to a, who were showing up as fake Republicans to a phone banking than, it's just, come on. All right. Let's go here to talk about a particular issue that the Kamala Harris campaign is. Hello? Is that better? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Somehow, I don't know what happened just now, but my microphone cut out. Alright, what was I saying? Oh, yes. Kamala Harris campaign has been having a particular issue which has been apparent, clear. There's been some ways that have been offered to solve it. The DNC. Things like that, or at least to maybe not solve it, but to ameliorate some portion of that by including this group of people, that being Arab Muslim voters.
We end today's show with a Muslim American Democrat who was ejected from a Kamala Harris rally in Metro Detroit, where Harris was joined by Republican former Congressmember Liz Cheney. Ahmad Ghanem is a Democratic Party activist and former House candidate from Michigan's 11th District.
He joins us now from Oak Park, Michigan, not far from the Harris campaign event, which he was ejected from. The Kamala Harris campaign has since said it regrets his removal. Thank you so much for being with us, Ahmad Ghanem. In these few minutes that we have left, take us to the event that you were invited to and explain what happened.
Thank you for having me. So basically, I went like anyone else. I was dressed in a suit going to this event, stood in line. It was a small event by invite only, 200 people at there, less than 200 people. I went through securities like the airport security where they have to check everything. They take even the signs that you have from the campaign. So nobody had any signs. You only have your wallet and that's it. And I was cleared by security. I was seated like anyone. I was sitting there for like 10 or 15 minutes just trying to answer some emails. I did not engage with anybody in conversation because they seat you randomly with people you don't know around you. And after 10 minutes, a lady came and told me, can you follow me? And I thought probably they are changing my seat. And I said, that's fine. I followed her, and at the door, I found 2 police officers waiting for me and said, they don't want you here at the event. If you either leave now or I put you in a police car. And that was shocking to me. So I was sitting there and I did not do anything. I did nothing. And now I'm threatened to be arrested.
Jesus Christ.
And I was just asking, I told him, okay, I'm going to leave. I just want to know, why are you kicking me out? And he said, it is not me, it's the venue that's kicking you out. So I asked him, why would the venue kick me out? The venue, they don't know anything about me, it's just the venue. He said, I don't know. And the lady that escorted me out, she ended the conversation. I said, this is not a conversation anymore. You have to be escorted out. So I didn't want to escalate the situation, and I just left.
And Ahmad, can you say whether since you've left, have you heard anything further about why you were removed?
No. The campaign issued a brief statement saying they regret what happened. They gave me a call. I thanked them for the call, but I said I want to know why was I removed, because apology without accountability is not an apology. So far they did not provide any information on or any reason why they removed me.
So
It's a disturbing decision made by what is clearly the Kamala Harris campaign. I don't think that I don't think a venue would just choose without the explicit direction of a campaign that had hired them for an event would just start kicking people out, especially former congressional candidates that are here. The guy's dressed in a suit. He looks like he belongs there, right? So clearly there was a decision made by somebody to do that, and I just find that to be horrible politics. Because there had been talk about the biggest tent and all this other crap, but if they completely ignore Arab voters, Arab and Muslim voters, people who are pro-Palestinian, who are neither of the last two aforementioned things, it's clearly leaving out an entire group of people, large group, and it's not good. It's not good. Because from what I can tell, the people who are not Arab or Muslim that are still on the same side of this issue in this sense, right? Who are pro-Palestinian, who are against funding Israel's war on the entire Middle East and the rest of it, like that group of people are probably some of the most active people in the left, right? In the sort of liberal democratic base. And I think it's a blunderous decision that they made for Kamala not to realign to some degree, to not make some sort of a corrective shift. All right, let's talk about some other stuff here. Paused it at the right time because now we're lagging. What? At least I'm lagging. Okay, it stopped. Good.
And since the Dobbs decision came down 2 years ago, I do believe that we as a country have faced a healthcare crisis. And yes, it includes the concern that we have about people's access to abortion care, and then the punishing of women, the criminalization of healthcare providers. But also we've seen clinics close around the country that provide all types of care, from PAPs to breast cancer screenings, HIV testing, and so much else, and just safe places for people to go. I know there's also been an impact in terms of students thinking about their career as physicians and what type of practice they would actually engage in and where they would go. We've been talking about healthcare deserts, which we know is a long-standing concern, but then exasperated by what we've seen most recently. And so I wanted to ask you, the experts, the trained and experienced folks who do the noble and important work of healthcare, to share a bit about how you are experiencing this moment in a way that can highlight the realities of this moment, the harm, and the reason why people, like here in the state of Michigan, should be concerned, even though they're not in Texas where I was and just left, but understanding if there were a national abortion ban, what it would mean for women and people throughout the country. So, Doctor, if you want to lead the discussion, but I would love to hear from you.
Yes. We have Dr. Lashmi Sanderson that was going to respond to that question, but I'll just say that it is very important that this not widen the gap of health disparities, that the care of a woman is between her and her doctor, and that it not further cause shortages of physicians across the country.
So I'm a family medicine physician and an abortion provider here on the western side of the state. I think we don't have to imagine what a post-Dobbs world looks like. We're living in a world that already has abortion bans that typically are regionally dependent. Here on the western side of the state, we represent not only a safety net for our region here in the Midwest, but over the last 18 months, we've seen an influx of patients that are coming particularly from the south and the southeast because of care deserts and already restrictive abortion bans.
Preach. Totally. Oh, God. I wish we could get the messaging right like this. The same way with, like with the Palestine, Israel, the Middle East thing. I wish we could get that right. The messaging on that as well. That would really help, I think. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I thought this was a good moment for sure to hit on care deserts, huge thing in this country, and adding in an incredibly restrictive abortion policy. Good luck, women.
A fucking bitch.
Oh, God. All right, we're next. I think I'm going to skip this one. We're going to go straight to this Jake Tapper, J.D. Vance interview. We don't need to see this. We already saw him do this earlier. Just remember, Donald Trump's still calling Detroit a trash can. Or actually, the United States a trash can, and Detroit just a terrible place. While in Michigan.
Senator Vance, good to see you. Thank you so much.
Good to see you. Thank you.
So let me ask you, obviously, Trump's former chief of staff, General John Kelly, was alarmed, he says, by what he heard when Trump said he wanted to use the National Guard or the Pentagon to go after the enemy within, Americans with whom he disagrees, including the Pelosi's, Adam Schiff. And then he gave an interview. He said that Trump, quote, certainly falls into the general definition of fascist, that he is, quote, certainly an authoritarian, admires people who are dictators. You've called him a disgruntled former employee. But why shouldn't Americans out there listen to somebody who worked closely with Trump, worked with him longer than you've worked with him, retired four-star Marine general, served his country honorably, who is conservative, who says he agrees with Trump on most policies, but is worried about this aspect of Trump?
So let me just say two things in response. So first of all, a lot of what John Kelly, pretty much all of what John Kelly accuses Donald Trump of saying, there were other people in the room, Mike Pence's former chief of staff, for example, who've explicitly said Donald Trump never said those things, right? So one, on
Mike
the
Pence, the
specific
guy
comments,
who's not going to support Trump because
Mike Pence's former chief of staff said that Donald Trump didn't say those things, right? So that's number one.
Okay, so just Mike Pence. The only person we're supposed to listen to in this situation, according to J.D. Vance, is not Mike Pence himself or John Kelly himself, but Mike Pence's former chief of staff. Who is that again? Mark T. Short. Have you ever heard of Mike Short? Mike T. Short? Mark? See, I can't even remember his name. Mark T. Anybody? That's who we're... Not Mike Pence or John Kelly. Mark
Number two, I actually
Short.
think there's an interesting
know who that
conversation
is.
here to have, Jake, which is why does John Kelly not support Donald Trump? It's about policy. It's actually not about personality.
He says he agrees with Trump on most policy.
No.
He agrees with Trump on most policy. He disagrees with...
I don't want reality.
Oh my God. JD is trying so hard. So hard right now. And the fact is, what's difficult for him in this particular situation is that he at one point said that Donald Trump was like Hitler. Remember that? It was a while ago. Not that long ago, though.
Trump on how Trump views his role and his and the fascism and the authoritarianism.
I don't buy that, Jake. I don't buy that, because if you actually look at John Kelly, at folks like Liz Cheney, the fundamental disagreement they have with Donald Trump is, even though they say that they're conservative,
I love it, because you know what he's doing, right? He is, instead of actually addressing the accusation of fascism at its core, he's just attacking the people who are making the accusation, right? And it really sort of lays bare JD's inability to actually defend that, because I think he believes it to some degree, but he is such an opportunist and he's so self-interested and so unethical, right? Or at least he just doesn't give a shit about ethics, like, at all. And so for him, like, this is just an opportunity. And so, he'll say whatever it takes. That's who this guy is. I mean, does he have his own ideology that's horrifying? Yes. But he did say at one point that Donald Trump was a fascist. And I think that was his real opinion. And because it wasn't a popular opinion in the Republican Party at the time. So I don't think it was an attempt for him to somehow win votes. I guess it could have been. I guess I'd really have to assess that to something. I'm pretty sure he said it while he was already in office. I don't think he was running at the time. All right. Now let's go here to a barber shop in Philadelphia.
It's good to be home. How are you doing? Oh, I'm great now. I'm great. Ain't you?
You know. You know.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Yes,
so
ma'am.
happy to be with you. Congratulations on all your success.
No.
It's
Congratulations.
really
This is
wonderful.
part of it.
Right?
And we're
I
going.
know that. I understand that.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're behind you 100%.
Thank you.
All the misnomers, put them to the side. You're home. We got you. We're going to ride for you. We're going to ride for you. Yes, ma'am.
This is State Jordan Harris.
They're both, please, President. Everybody seems super excited to see her. At least that's the vibes that I get from it. Right?
9 days ago.
I want to introduce you to some of the folks that are here.
There's a lot of eye contact going on here. That was one of the world's longest handshakes, I'm pretty sure. And it looks like people are just lining up outside the barber shop to see her right now.
This is also James, who's one of our superstar basketball players.
Yeah. How's you been playing?
Yeah, I just playing. I just got here.
You did?
Yeah, I hurt my knee.
Ooh. Oh, that does hurt.
I'm
You didn't go to the hospital?
This is Brother Chad right here.
Chad, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Vice President.
Hold on, there's a spot here. Yeah. So she's just hanging out. She sits down, unlike Trump, who was just standing the whole time when he went to visit a barber shop.
I've been in education for 10 years.
I started off as a teacher's assistant in a school in North Philly. After the school lost their charter, I've been like trying to like figure out where I'm going to go if education was still for me. Then I started to work in Camden, New Jersey at a at a kid middle school.
Oh, you're teaching at KIPP?
I was. I was there for 6 years, and then I came back over to Philly because I felt like it was time for me to lay some roots down in my own city. Like I've been giving a lot of like energy and time to others, like another state and other kids. But I think it's time now for me to like give my kids like my energy and my all. And I've been in Philly for the last 3 years of my career.
You know, sadly, only 1% of teachers in public schools are black men.
Yeah, for sure.
1%.
It's a little bit less.
Illegal.
Yeah.
And you know the statistics are if a black child has a black teacher by the end of 3rd grade, they're like 13% more likely to go to college.
To succeed.
But to go to college even. If they have had 2 black teachers by the end of 3rd grade, something like 30% more likely.
Is that real? I never heard the statistic
You know,
before.
part of actually my focus and agenda is what we've got to do to create incentives.
Yeah.
Which really are not necessarily incentives in terms of the will, but also we don't pay teachers enough.
Right.
Student loan debt is an issue, you know, and thinking about how we create incentives to actually recruit and retain more black men as teachers, because we know the benefit to overall society, and in particular to our children.
You know,
It was honestly it was pretty good and I think relatable conversation. She seemed super relaxed. She's had a lot of good things to say during this. We don't have time to watch the whole thing. We got to keep it moving. I started so late today. It's already, good God, it's like, what is that, 1 a.m. EST. So I think that, at least in my estimation, one of the reasons for, like, because that statistic is sort of like stuck in my head. 15% if they have 1, 30% if they have 2. I think a lot of it has to do with kids being able to see themselves in a authority figure who values learning, in their close proximity on a regular basis, right? On an early sociological like level, I think that's incredibly important, right? All right, now it's time. I've been sort of holding you off on this one for a while. I sort of backloaded this all as much as possible. Wasn't sure how long it was going to take. So let's do this. MSG rally. I'm going to start off with Hulk Hogan's comments here. He said he thinks Kamala Harris is a bad actress?
What? How rude.
Well, let me tell you something, Trumpomaniacs. Welcome to the house that Hulkamania built.
Wow.
You know something?
Wow.
Usually when I'm in Madison Square Garden.
I gotta say. Oh, he's saying MSG. Okay, I just realized what he's talking about. Because for a second I thought that he was claiming that he had personally built the MAGA brand and movement, which is pretty bold, I was gonna say. But let's hear him out. Let's hear him out.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
You know something? Usually when I'm in Madison Square Garden, I'm body slamming giants. I'm winning world heavyweight titles, and I'm cracking people over the heads with steel chairs. And the energy in Madison Square Garden is off the Richter scale. But today, Trumpomaniacs, the energy in here is something like I've never felt. The energy of all these Trumpomaniacs is the most powerful force in the universe. And today, this is Donald Trump's house, brother. You know something, Trump maniacs? I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here. The only thing I see in here
Are you sure?
are a bunch of
I feel like there's got to be at least a couple on the list here.
in here. The only thing I see in here are a bunch of hard-working men and women that are real Americans, brother. You know, when I hear my president and our president, Donald Trump, speak, he sounds for real, brother. He sounds like he has a heart of gold that's all for the USA.
That's right, brother. You don't understand what you gotta do to make sure that fascism comes back to America.
But, you know, that claim about Kamala Harris being a bad actor, sort of, like a little switch in my head went off when I heard that. I don't know what it is about me in particular. When I heard that, some things came to mind. Stuff that it's just like flashes of stuff, things, like images, almost like a movie.
Hey, dude, how about a bomb pop?
Whoa!
Hey, you leaving?
Leaving.
Bad guys beat?
The galaxy's saved.
No loose ends then. Hey, look! It's a giant!
Well, maybe one loose end.
Hey, man! I just got that! Use this! Radical! Your luck! Was not! So what? My mom did that last week. Whoa! He's going for a full-on handstand! No way!
Way. Tell your mom to keep practicing.
Aw, man.
Wow, that's a cinematic masterpiece right there. That's what that is. This guy is an acting treasure. I take it all back. I was planning to criticize him, but did you see that?
Former WWE star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is in the middle of an amazing acting career, appearing in some of the biggest films each. He's successful with all of our awesome content.
What is this? Why are you...
Including wrestling. Four, Assault on Death Mountain, aka Shadow Warriors 2, Hunt for the Death Merchant. In Assault on Death Mountain, Hulk Hogan plays Link and he's looking for Zelda. Wait, this is a different Death Mountain. Hogan actually plays Mike McBride, an ex-military operative turned bounty hunter who is on a mission to get back a woman's kidnapped child. It features great lines like,
Yeah, I know. Shadow Warriors in the big city, brother.
And
I hate sharks, brother.
And who could forget the classic line,
This is not about coconuts, brother.
The movie features sharks, speedboats, and thrills and chills.
This is not about coconuts, brother. You don't know anything about coconuts, Hulkamaniacs.
Okay, that's enough making fun of Hulk Hogan's very reputable acting career. Now, oh, this is breaking news. Where is it? Is this one? Yeah. That's right, people. Coming in right now. Looks like Melania Trump is actually alive. There have been speculations that she just sort of died and they were covering it up. Just like old, who was it, the first one that died? Oh, I can't think of her name now. But no, she is alive and here, fulfilling her her wifely duty at this recent Trump rally in New York.
Good evening, New York City. Hello, Madison Square Garden.
When I hear that voice, this is what I think.
Our hometown, where architectural symbols of strength, courage, and unity create a canvas for the world's undisputed capital of industry. Where titans of finance, fashion, and entertainment convene among an iconic range of superior design, structures, and artistic accomplishments. And American ingenuity blossoms among determined citizens who race across city streets and between offices, striving for success. It is you who are the heartbeat of this great metropolis.
That's right, everybody. You are the heartbeat of this great metropolis.
It is you who are the pull.
Everybody, I would like to take a moment here to tell you all are the heartbeat. The heartbeat of the Galactic Noon Hour.
Of this America. Yet, New York City is unforgiving. In fact, our lives are complicated even during the best of times. And sadly, today, a declining quality of life coupled with economic instability makes it difficult for business to thrive. Love you too.
I feel like there's got to be some portion of the audience who's like, what's happening? Yeah, we're yelling. Okay, all right, we can get into that.
Crime is on the rise, while public safety diminishes.
Crime is on the rise. I think she's talking about her household. The crime rate in her household is on the rise because her husband has, been convicted of 34 felonies at this point, among other sorts of things, civilly.
An environment where families with young children choose to relocate, and this story repeats itself from coast to coast across our nation. This is America. For generations, this town has produced America's most fearless leaders, whose mark changed the course of the world. New York City and America needs their magic back.
We need the magic back, everybody.
A country of tomorrow that will shape our future and reset expectations for the generations. Envision a wonderful America where the seeds of security, prosperity, and health are sown once again for benefit of our families.
There should be a big asterisk that comes up on the screen right now. Unfortunately, I can't do it that fast, but there should be like an asterisk that comes up. And by our families, I mean the Trumps and the let's think, who else is going to be benefiting from that? Probably Stephen Miller's family, probably. Anybody else? Ooh, the Kushners. Kushners are going to be feeling it. They were already really, really, really rich. Same thing with Stephen Miller, actually. He's a Goldman Sachs banker. But now they're going to be doing even better. How exciting for them. Everybody else, very, very, very debatable, and most likely, definitely not going to happen. But hey, if you're a big fan of those people doing better than you, that's fine. Just support that. Just say it. Just say, I want them to continue being so rich they could buy my entire neighborhood and kick us all out of our homes. Okay, here's quote-unquote dark. Well, you know who this is. I've got beef with him. Galactically speaking, real annoying. It's in the media way too much. But unfortunately, I will have to subject you once again to Elon Musk.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA. Well, it's...
Why is he so proud of himself for making these just random idiotic like word soups up? It's like, look, I made myself a new hat. Look, everybody, I made myself a new hat. Do you like it? I am now dark, gothic MAGA. Ha, it's great.
MAGA. Well, it's... The energy in this room is incredible. What a great group of people.
All right, I've only got one question for you, and then I'm getting out of here, because this is your stage. But we set up Doge.
Yes.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted...
Okay, this is one of the most nonsensical questions I've ever heard, and he starts it off with a random statement, right? He starts... The reason that the question is so nonsensical, I mean, the premise is idiotic, but the beginning of it's so random. He's like, so we started Doge. He and Elon Musk, neither of them started Doge, first off, right? It was some random internet person who made it to make fun of cryptocurrency, right? It was literally a cryptocurrency that was made inherently to criticize cryptocurrency itself. It's a meme coin, right? But he's like, oh yeah, we did it. We make Doge. And so moving on from that completely just false and also completely unrelated sentence, let's talk about this.
Yes.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
Yes.
$2 trillion.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it's either becomes inflation or it's...
So yeah, there he is. $2 trillion. He said he's going to cut out of the budget. Now, I could speculate as to what he thinks should get cut first, but I have some ideas too. I mean, $2 trillion, that's a big number. And I think we could get at least half of it done immediately through discretionary spending as it relates to military budget, which is nearly $1 trillion a year. So that'll get half of that just taken care of immediately. So just do consider that, Mr. Musk. I mean, he won't be considering that, but yeah.
Taxation. Your money is being wasted.
Because he happens to actually directly benefit personally from the military budget because he has defense contracts with the military. Many of his companies do, whether it be like SpaceX or I'm trying to think, the satellite company, joking, mate. But stuff like that, right? So for him, that budget's got to be as big as possible.
The Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. And America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing. Now,
he's getting bigger cheers than Donald Trump is getting here. Bigger chants, too. Dark goth MAGA Elon idiot, apparently. So, yeah, that's a thing that's happening right now. All right, let's move on to this other clips we got. Oh, God. This is probably going to be one of the worst ones. I can almost guarantee you right now. Here's Stephen Miller. What was he? Former chief of staff and speechwriter? Something like that? I can't remember. Something like that.
Hello, New York. Hello, Madison Square Garden. And hello to the United States of America. People watching in all 50 states. We are here tonight with a message for you. In 9 days, your rescue is coming. In 9 days, your salvation is at hand. In 9 days, Donald J. Trump is going to go back to the White House. We stand here today at a crossroads in the history of this nation, in the history of our civilization. This is a choice between betrayal and renewal, between self-destruction and salvation, between the failure of America or the triumph of America. I want you to think for a minute about the decades of abuse that has been heaped upon the good people of this nation. Their jobs looted and stolen from them and shipped to Mexico, Asia, and foreign countries.
Shipped to Mexico.
The lives...
You don't ship things. I mean, I guess you could. I guess you can ship things technically to Mexico, but Mexico's south of the border. You can just drive them over. Why would you be shipping them to Mexico? It's a weird thing. It's a weird way to put it, but it's also not true.
From them and shipped to Mexico, Asia, and foreign countries. The lives of their loved ones ripped away from them by illegal aliens, criminal gangs, and thugs who don't belong in this country. A political system that punishes hard-working citizens, oppresses them at every turn, takes away their right to free speech, the right to political expression, the right to fundamental safety.
When at any time has the MAGA crowd been not allowed to express themselves? Seems like all they do.
In their own country. One man dared to step forward 9 years ago and say, enough, no more, America gets its future back. And what happened next? What happened after he stepped down that escalator 9 years ago? The system he was fighting tried to do everything in its power to stop him, to take away your voice, to take away your vote, to take away your right to have your own country. They lied.
Literally
they
nobody has
defamed,
done that.
They smeared one witch hunt after another, one hoax after another, one betrayal after another, lie after lie, slander after slander.
I can't believe he keeps saying lie after lie as if it's not the thing. It's like his job. I think that's partly what it is. I think he's just stuck on like the concept of lying because it's sort of Stephen Miller's only task in the world is to lie. And so I think this is really just an example of him being sort of like a broken record stuck on a particular narrative. He's like, I'm just going to claim, I've been doing it already. I'm just going to just say lie, lie, lie. Everything they've said is lie. I'm not even get specific because it's too hard. This is much easier. I can't be writing speeches for myself, too. Okay, Stephen.
libel after libel, lawsuit after lawsuit. They tried to jail him. They tried to bankrupt him. They tried to imprison him. And they even tried to take his life with not one, but 2 assassination attempts. And let me ask you.
This is a very broad they. This is a very broad they. I mean, I think his audience genuinely interprets everything he means as when he says they as Democrats, right? But it's incredibly broad they. And first off, the first person who tried to kill Donald Trump wasn't a Democrat. He was a registered Republican. So I guess they includes also Republicans who aren't fans of Trump. Anybody who doesn't like Trump is the they.
When his life was on the line, did he falter? Did he waver? Did he yield? Did he surrender? Did he hesitate? Did he back down? Did he give one single solitary inch? Or did he stand up, strong and proud and resilient, the warrior that he...
This speech is feeling very weird right now. I don't know what it is.
And raise his fist into the air and shout on behalf of all of you, fight, fight, fight. And what was he fighting for? He was fighting for your children, for your wives, your husbands, everyone that you love and know in the world. The right to live in a country where criminal gangs cannot just cross our border and rape and murder with impunity. Think about how corrupt and hateful and evil a system is that allows gangs to come into this country and rape and murder little girls. I'm not just saying that. You've read the stories. It happens every day.
Stories
you
which
read one of these
you...
heartbreaking headlines. Who's gonna...
You've read the stories which I have been completely and totally involved in, if not personally responsible for their being pushed out onto people as being representative of a bigger problem when they are in fact fringe cases that took Stephen Miller and his buddies a bunch of time to actually find and come up with narratives for.
Stand up for our daughters. Who's going to stand up for the girls of America, the women of America?
Yeah, the women. What does that mean? Standing up for them not being allowed to have health care?
The families of America. Who's going to stand up and say the cartels are gone, the criminal migrants are gone, the gangs are gone, America is for Americans and Americans only? One man, and that man...
Americans and Americans only. Americans and Americans only. Somebody Google for me that sentence, but replace the word American with the word German.
Ladies and gentlemen, that man took a bullet for you. He took a bullet for democracy. And all we are asking in return, is for 9 days. For 9 short, precious days. You have to vote, vote, vote. Vote for freedom, vote for liberty, vote for sovereignty, vote for your children, vote for your families, vote for the right of free speech, the right to the Second Amendment, vote for the right to have a secure sovereign border, and for the right to have a government that puts American citizens ahead of illegal aliens. With your vote...
Well, there's Stephen Miller saying a bunch of unhinged shit. Still got some more stuff to talk about with this rally. He looks like a second-tier Nazi.
If you're just tuning in, we have been watching former President Donald Trump, who is speaking at a rally in Madison Square Garden.
Don't impugn the
in
character
New York
of the
City.
man.
Thousands and thousands of people there. We have heard, by all accounts from our reporters who cover Trump rallies day in, day out, that this is the darkest rhetoric they have heard coming from this event tonight. Trump, who we have just gone through with Kristen Holmes and Alex Thompson, fact-checking a number of falsehoods that he has centered around immigration. And we also have heard from people who came before him on the stage and were cheered by that crowd. They called Vice President Harris the Antichrist, the devil. They railed against what they called effing illegals. This is some of what we have heard out of Madison Square Garden tonight. And of course, former president is still going. I want to go back to Kristen Holmes, who's inside. Kristen, we dipped out of the speech for a little bit. What more has he been saying?
I don't know. Look, right now he's giving his general talking points, and a lot of it is I'm just on here. He's using the word nasty, so I'm trying to figure out what he's talking about because I wanted to hear if he was referring to Kamala Harris or not, because that's not a word he often uses, but it doesn't sound like it. He has been using the same rhetoric that he often does. As you noted, there is a very heavy focus on immigration. Unsurprisingly, Donald Trump believes that dark, fear-based rhetoric around immigration is what helped get him into the White House in 2016, and he believes that it could help him again in 2024. Now, right now, he is talking about former First Lady Melania Trump. He is giving her a shout out. Just a reminder, she spoke tonight.
Gotta give the First Lady a shout out.
She has gotten up on the stage in any campaign event this cycle and actually spoken. She didn't attend either of the debates that he was at. She attended the RNC but did not speak. And the only other campaign event she has been at was at Mar-a-Lago, which is her home, when he announced his candidacy back in November of 2022. So she has been barely visible this campaign cycle, but she was on the stage again tonight. But overall, what we're
actually, I'll let her finish that sentence. Oops.
Is a reprise of all of his greatest. She was on the stage again tonight, but overall what we're hearing is a reprise of all of his greatest hits. He talks about the economy, he talks about tariffs, we fact-checked that, we talk about immigration. He clearly is doubling down on that fear-based dark rhetoric. This is something he believes is going to help him, propel him to the White House again in November. This is him on display. I think Alex said this. He is putting on a show right now. And one of the things
Okay, yes, that's enough. Got a concept of a plan. All right, I'm just going to quickly skim through this 6 hour, 1 minute and 30 second video posted by PBS.
We come before you today seeking your divine wisdom and guidance. Lord, we recognize that true wisdom comes from you alone.
This is how it starts.
Help us to discern your will in our lives, especially in these challenging times for our beloved nation. May we seek to honor you, not just with our words, but through our actions each and every day. Father, we ask for a deep...
Okay. Let's see how long this goes on for. 5 minutes? Oh my god. I assume what, they do the national anthem too? Oh my god, what? Like an opera singer? Hold on. What?
It is the greatest country in the world! Yes, it is! And still we can see as the years have gone by.
Okay, let's see who all is here. I don't even know who that woman is. What is this? This is a YouTube painter or something who's gonna do some sort of like a Donald Trump painting, I assume. Wait, hold on. Yep, there it is.
I'm in Israel and had the opportunity to
Who the fuck is this guy?
fast with Bibi Netanyahu.
Oh, he's an Israeli.
Take
Okay.
away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom.
I'll be the one to take away your freedom. Already did with abortion. What's next? I don't know. I love how she came out with this fucking jacket. She's had this big plan. I'm gonna bring the jacket. I'm gonna put it on the front so everybody can see the sparkles. And then she's just like struggling with it, like, oh god, why can't I get it to stay? Come on. She's trying to see. I'm sorry. Supernatural. Totally. Anybody know who this woman is? I have no idea. 6 hours though. Really? These people must be exhausted.
We're gonna ruin this country, folks.
I know this guy. Not shocked to see you here. That's Sarah Huckabee Sanders? No. Who's
They
this?
were at the wrong rally because the rally where people believe in faith.
Oh God, Rudy Giuliani was here too.
Learn a trade or have a job. We gather here today.
Shut up, Rudy.
For example,
You don't know the name of a single trades person, Rudy. Like, let's be really real. Rudy Giuliani does not know the name of a single person that's ever come to his multi-million-dollar apartment that he now has to give up to those women for defaming them repeatedly. Not a single person, you know, that's ever come to help him with his plumbing or whatever, cleaning up after his whatever. No, but the point is, this man couldn't name one tradesperson or service person's name.
I'm the founder of Community First.
Wait, who's this guy? I can't even think of it. There's just too many of these psychos. Oh my God. This really went on for 6 hours. Gotta get back in. Even though he's not gonna be president. I know. Vice president. He didn't get picked, but still here. Okay. Other Donald.
I'm telling you, there's an energy.
Mike Johnson. Just a whole pack of people. Jesus Christ. Gotta get literally every person here. Oh, yeah. Tulsi. Gotta get RFK here. I mean, holy shit.
Islamist terrorists are streaming
Just wild.
across our borders, placing us at risk.
Tucker. Wow, Tucker.
And
I'm sorry, hold on. We're gonna actually have to listen to this.
We're gonna have to listen to this. Please hold. Please hold. We got a very interesting person here by the name of Tucker Carlson.
Why won't you let me just go back normal? Piece of shit. There we go.
To the stage, Tucker Carlson.
Really?
Thank you.
That fucking cackle, though. I mean, what the fuck? Where did he get that laugh from? This is a normal laugh. How's everybody doing? Like, what the fuck is that?
Thank you. I saw the Grateful Dead in this arena in 1987. I was seated right there. How weird. It's such an honor to be here, and it's wild. Just another day following Bobby Kennedy Jr. at a Donald Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. I mean, what? That's totally normal.
Just like your laugh.
Liz Cheney's out there with Kamala Harris.
You know what's hilarious to me is that they make fun of Kamala Harris's laugh, but then seem completely unfazed by this man laughing like a literal demon. Look at it. Look at this face. Like, what? Laughing Tucker. Laughing Carlson. Always out there laughing. Laughing it up. Totally normal laugh.
Immediately
day, if not sooner.
Jr. at a Donald Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. I mean, what? That's totally normal. Liz Cheney's out there with Kamala Harris. And there's Bobby Kennedy calling to protect women's sports at a Trump rally. It's a realignment. It's unbelievable. And the fact that it's here is even sweeter. Imagine if you're, and just pause for one moment. Imagine you're Donald Trump. You're from New York City. You become famous in New York City. You make your fortune in New York City. And all of a sudden, the leadership of New York City decides they're going to destroy you because they don't like your politics. And so they, yeah, boo. Imagine if that were you, though. And they try and take everything that you have. They try and put you in prison. They try and put your children in prison. If that happened to you, how often do you think you'd be going back to New York City?
What is he even talking? Is he just talking about Donald Trump again? He did crimes. That's why they tried to put him in prison. He's not even in prison. He's been convicted of crimes. He's not even in prison. He hasn't even had a sentencing hearing yet. A New York judge held off until after the election. Is that not election interference? Not doing your job as a judge?
How about never? And yet he's here. It's like getting thrown out of a bar. And you think to yourself, well, you know, all my friends are in the bar. And you approach the door and there's the bouncer like, you're not allowed in here. But from behind the bouncer, you hear the cheers of your friend, come on in! And the bouncer hangs his head in shame. He's embarrassed.
When has that ever?
Working for the...
When has that ever happened to him? Tucker Carlson doesn't have friends.
Hangs his head in shame. He's embarrassed that he's working for the man trying to keep the most popular person out of the bar. And that's Donald Trump back in the city that produced him with no embarrassment at all in a room full of his friends. The stones that takes, the bravery that takes.
The bravery
is incredible. Donald Trump's gonna win. He's gonna win.
Bravery.
I know that that's true. Why is Donald Trump gonna win? The people he's about to defeat have no idea. And they're panicked. They have no idea why people like Donald Trump. And their first theory was, well, Donald Trump is evil, so half the country's evil also. And that's one of the reasons they spent the last 4 years trying to destroy the country, because they're mad at its voters for liking Donald Trump. How much easier would it have been just to pause for 20 minutes and ask yourself honestly in some silent place?
Wow. Yep, that's what we said. The entire country, half the country is completely evil. Not just people like you for pushing this sort of garbage.
Why do people like Donald Trump? And if they had been honest enough to ask themselves that question, they would have come up with the two main reasons, and here's what they are.
Racism and ignorance.
The first reason that people like Donald Trump is because he likes them. That's why. And it's real.
Wait, because he likes them? Wait, I'm sorry. I don't think I heard that right. Say it again.
Donald Trump is because he likes them. That's why.
That is factually inaccurate. Do you see who Donald Trump actually hangs out? He doesn't hang out with the populist sort of, you know, group of people. He supposedly represents this big, you know, the masses. No, that's not who he hangs out with. He doesn't like them. He doesn't even want to shake their hands. He would rather be on his G6 sipping, well, not champagne, but I guess sipping a Coke and eating a Big Mac with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and other psychos and Tucker. You know, all millionaires.
And it's real. Affection is something you can't fake.
Or billionaires.
I don't care how many times Kamala Harris would tell me she loves me, I don't believe her. I saw her kiss her husband with a mask on. A mask on. That's her version of love. It's fake. It's not real. They spent 10 years telling you Trump is a hater. Do you feel that on him? No, you don't. Because it's not there.
I love how you didn't give anybody time to answer that. Do you feel that? No, you don't. If you do, leave now, please.
A lot of time with Trump. And there's not one moment I've ever been with him off camera where he's spending his time grousing about people he hates. Ever.
Really? Now, I hadn't even heard this speech up until now. I should have prepared some videos because clearly Tucker hasn't been paying not too close attention. I mean, I know he lost his job at Fox, so I guess he doesn't have like the same sort of pipeline of information available to him that he may once have had. But wow, he seems to be really sort of, not just having completely separated himself from the media ecosphere since then, but also forgotten everything that happened before, I guess.
He's talking about the people and the country he loves in his private time. Trust me. And people know in a country that has been taken over by a leadership class that actually despises them and their values and their history and their culture.
Literally, he's describing Donald Trump. It's hilarious. I mean, he's a man who is a billionaire who was quoted as, and he said it, his family quoted this themselves. I think it was it Ivanka who said this? I can't remember who. I think it was that he had said that he was poorer than a homeless man. So he thinks he deserves more sympathy than the homeless, just because he squandered $500 million, not now, but decades ago, back when $500 million was like, more like now, which would be more like 50. Like, I mean, back in when was the first time he filed for bankruptcy? I think it was like in the early 90s, right? Am I wrong? I have to look that up now.
Their customs really hates them to the point that it's trying to replace them. They know someone who actually has affection for them, and that's Donald Trump. And it's requited. It's requited. They know. When he goes to McDonald's and serves fries, like, he's not faking that at all. That's why that worked. Democratic media consultants are like, how is that working? Because it's real. That's why. And the second reason that people love Trump, and I put myself in this category, it's why I'm here today, is because he's liberated us.
Really?
In the deepest and truest sense. And the liberation he has brought to us.
Which us is he talking about? Certainly not women. He didn't liberate women. He liberated all of you women from having too many choices. It's like when you're at the supermarket and there's too many things and you're trapped. You're forced into this horrible decision-making process, and now you have less choices, and that's what he's done. He's freed you from that. Don't you see? Come on.
From the obligation to tell lies. Donald Trump has made it possible for the rest of us to tell the truth about the world around us. And that's the single most liberating thing you can do for people. If you want to enslave people, if you want to degrade them, force them to tell lies. And they have. They forced us to lie about everything at gunpoint, effectively. They put people in prison for refusing to lie. And not just the obvious lies that men can become women or Vladimir Putin blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. No, honestly, he did. January 6th was an insurrection. They were unarmed, but it was very insurrection-y.
Wow. I love this. Is a very interesting road he's going down here of comparisons of things.
Or Vladimir Putin blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. No, honestly, he did. January 6th was an insurrection. They were unarmed, but it was very insurrection-y. Not even the obvious ones, but the big lie. You know what the big lie is? The big lie is that they're impressive. That's what the big lie is. That the people in charge have somehow earned the right to rule over you, and they haven't. And you know that. These are the single most...
People like yourself and Donald Trump? Is that what you're talking about? Because, like, what are you saying? Donald Trump never earned the right to rule over anybody, but he has always been able to do so without really ever having to do all that much. He's never had to like pick up a hammer and like drive a nail for a buck. The guy has literally lorded over everyone his entire life.
useless people in the United States. They have no skills whatsoever. They've got 3/4 of the money, and they didn't earn it. They set up a system precisely for the purpose of awarding themselves wealth and power when it's undeserved. You look at Liz Cheney and you ask yourself honestly, what skill could she possibly have that allowed her to send hundreds of thousands of people to their deaths? Did she...
Oh, he's comparing, like, completely different, like it's wild. Like, he's jumping all over the place on this one. Good God, Tucker. I think we've had enough of this. Maybe I'll watch this later. We've gone too far on all this. All right. I think there's a little bit more footage from this event.
Undivided allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Americans, American patriots, I'm sure I do not come before you tonight as a complete stranger. You all have heard of me through the Jewish-controlled press as a creature with horns, a cloven hoof, and a long tail. We, with American ideals, demand that our government shall be returned to the American people who founded it. If you ask what we are actively fighting for under our charter, first, a social just white Gentile ruled United States. Second, Gentile-controlled labor union, free from Jewish Moscow-directed domination.
So, of course, this is not actual footage from the current Madison Square Garden rally, but in fact a Nazi rally, a literal Nazi rally from the 30s in the United States. Also, it was at Madison Square Garden. Same place that rally we were just watching was being held for Donald Trump. Was in the same place. A lot of similar ideology there, I feel like. What else do we have to look at? Actually, we might take a break and go back to politics. Yeah. All right, let's do that. Well, I hope everybody is enjoying the show so far. If you haven't already hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe. And once you got done doing those two things, do consider becoming a patron on Patreon, as our show is completely funded by viewers like you. And Patreon's not anything. We do have other things like Cash App, PayPal, Twitch, so a lot of options, a lot of ways you can help fund the production of this show. But if you become a Galactic patron on Patreon, you get access to a whole host of super sweet space benefits unseen by the rest of the Milky Way galaxy. Alright, chat. Quick space break and we'll be right back. By the way, you might notice behind me some added decorations here. Like I said, it's like an advent calendar every stream up until Thursday, when I will reveal all of the rest of them at once. You're gonna be revealing little pieces of the Halloween decorations for you that I've got all set up. Also, if you're a patron and you haven't gotten me a costume request for your avatar, I am going to give everybody until the end of today, actually Monday, that being, to get me in final costume requests, as I've already finished all of them, and the decorations too, pretty much. So, like, I feel like I'm in a good spot right now. So just let me know if you do have any of that going on. Okay, I'm back. Alright, Space Fams, second half is about to start, which means it's time to get back to your seats. Otherwise, you're going to miss all of the galactic news. Alright, where did we leave off? Oh, right. The Nazi rally of 1939 at Madison Square Garden. Alright, let's move on now to this. We're not quite. Actually, we're. Huh? What happened? I have. Oh, there it is. Wait, no, that's not it. Oh, found it. Found it. Okay. Alright, good. I was worried for a second. Now, let's go here, talk a little bit more about politics. Start off with this is a Tim Walz clip, where he also made the exact same comparison that I did.
Donald Trump has descended into madness over the last few weeks. And I think some of you don't miss on this. Go do your Google on this. Donald Trump's got this big rally going at Madison Square Garden. There's a direct parallel to a big rally that happened in the mid-1930s at Madison Square Garden. And don't think that he doesn't know for 1 second exactly what they're doing there. So look, we said we're all running like everything's on the line because it is. It is. And I've been saying for the last 3 months or so that there'll be plenty of time for all of us to sleep when we're dead. Now is not the time. Now is not the time. So I want to say I'm proud to be on the team with Kamala. I'm proud to be on the team with you. The door knocks you're making very possibly could be the difference between electing Kamala Harris and moving us into a positive future or the nightmare of Donald Trump. So when you're out there today, there's going to be a time, I keep talking about this, and there's some young folks here too, but there's going to be a time we're sitting on the porch in that rocking chair, and there's going to be some little ones around us, and they're going to say, what were you all doing back in 2024 when you stopped Donald Trump? And your answer is going to be every damn thing we could. So get on the doors, get this done, let's win this thing.
Well, all right, there's Tim. Now let's go here to Kamala Harris quickly. Trying to reach Gen Z in this moment, it would seem.
Day, we are going to get out the vote here in Pennsylvania. And if you'll give me a minute, I really right now want to speak to the young leaders who are here. Is Gen Z in the house? Who's voting for their first time in the first election? All right. Now, here's the thing I love about you young leaders. You know, you are rightly impatient for change. You are rightly impatient. You who have only known the climate crisis, you are leaders in what we need to do to protect our planet. You who grew up with active shooter drills, you know what we have to do to fight for safety in our schools. You who right now know fewer rights than your mothers and grandmothers understand the importance of fighting for the right of a woman to make decisions about her own body and not have her government tell her what to do.
100%. 100%. Who's the old guy? There's a few old guys back there if you look hard. Like in this shot, you can at least see two, and there's at least a few old people. I've seen them. They're in there. It's a very diverse crowd. All right. What was it? What we're doing next? Ah, yes. Well, this seems to be the big news right now. Tim Walz went on a live stream with AOC to play video games like Crazy Taxi and even Madden. Pretty crazy. Let's see what's up with this.
So, hey, I've got to go, but I wanted to try something if you think I can, since you got me on here. I asked my team. Back in the old days, I had that Sega Dreamcast. They had kind of the, I don't know if it came, your folks on here could probably tell me. It either came before or right after Grand Theft Auto, which I thought was a little, you know, might not be. I was teaching school. I thought that's a little bit harsh. So there was a game similar to it, Crazy Taxi. And
oh my gosh.
You drive around. I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to come on here in a minute. Here we go. I'm going to play this thing.
Go ahead and pick.
Okay, so here's the deal, too. You can pick these characters, and if you get really good, I found this out, and it might be the coolest thing that I've had happen to me. There's a character of me in there. At some
Are you
point.
serious?
Yeah, I'm terrible. I don't know the controllers on Xbox, but I just wanted to try it once with you.
Oh my gosh.
I got to go pick these people up. Get in, dude. And here we go. And then you got to drive them to their destination.
To the cable car stop. Oh my gosh.
This is like
Is
New
this
York
how you
taxi.
drive in real life?
Or is that a smart ass? Is that a smart ass comment about New York? Oh no, there we go. Yeah, see, sweet.
Dude,
okay, hold
you're
on.
good.
I'm not bad.
Oh my god.
Wait. Oh,
Wait,
dude.
Too far. You gotta go back.
Spot. I had the money in my pocket. Here we go. I got it. I got to just
run
go
the
in there
meter.
and
Run the meter.
I got to get my money.
Oh my gosh.
Hop out. Give me the money.
Cash.
All right, give me the cash. Now I got to go pick up somebody
No
else.
tap to pay.
He almost had a really good score on that one.
Stuck. I got it back. Oh, I forgot how to reverse.
Oh
Here we
my
go.
gosh.
It's a new deal.
The music is good.
You know, for an old guy, he's not bad at the game.
Oh,
I mean, how old is he? Like 60 years old?
Yeah, see, it's not bad. It's kind of retro, right?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
All right, hold on.
Okay, you're
I was
making a
gonna
lot
do
of
this.
money on this shift though. So you got 463.
It's like a New York. I'm like a New York idiot. I'm like driving the wrong way.
Although he is
You're
killing a
charging
lot of
tourist
people. I don't think
prices
you
up
lose
here.
points for that.
Fair.
I'm not sure.
Oh, this is San
I haven't
Fran.
played
Watch
this game in a
I'm flying
long
over this.
time.
Out of the way, people.
Oh.
Oh, that's a problem. That is a problem.
Not supposed to do that. Not supposed to do that.
Sorry. See, this doesn't feel quite as bad as Grand Theft, does it?
No, not at all.
Like I'm
but
not
also
playing it.
chaotic.
It's very chaotic.
Yeah, and it's much
This
less
is
realistic than Grand Theft Auto.
So this was
I mean,
Okay.
back in
this is a
99.
completely
I know,
different game.
Am I getting really pumped hard on the?
I know that in his mind they're the same game,
people
but they're
are,
just
like,
not.
super excited.
All right, 'cause if you haven't got this, go get this game, people. It is really sweet. Oh,
It is a cool game.
You started playing this because an intern brought it to your office. Is that right?
no, I took.
It's a
it back
throwback,
there.
really.
I just,
You brought it.
I mean, this came out
It was the
what?
first time I
Like,
had a real
Jesus
job. I was like
Christ,
an
how old is
adult,
this game?
And I had money.
20 years
I
ago?
was like married, and my wife was not really approving of. You know, she thought it was a little bit. In those days,
She
not
didn't
everybody
want
gamed.
Crazy Taxi in the house.
No, and I had money, and so I went out and I bought a Sega Dreamcast, which was the. Oh, come on, dude! Come on, spin that way. I don't think this is me. I think it's my driver. Like I'm almost done here, but I went and got this, and it was the wildest thing. This is the retro version. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. It doesn't matter. So it's just,
So
passengers, oh shoot!
so you brought it to the office because they didn't want
So I
Crazy
brought it to
Taxi
the
in the
office, and
house.
my wife said, you need to get rid of it and be like a real person or whatever. And I put it on Facebook or whatever. The intern picked it up. I don't remember exactly how that story went. I probably should. The Republicans will like accuse me of never having a Dreamcast or something. No, they are. So, because I'm talking
I don't
crap.
think anyone. I don't think anyone can watch you play this and say you've never had a Dreamcast. Is what I gotta
Yeah.
say.
Well, hey, just before I go, You're the best. Appreciate all you do. Got to
Thank you,
tell
Beth.
people to go vote. Go vote. There's a new way forward here. Our politics can be joyful, fun, engaging. Everybody can participate. There's plenty to go around. Paul Wellstone, our late senator, said we all do better when we all do better. And I think we're trying to let everybody all do better.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being with us and joining me today for some games and things like that. No, totally.
Invite me
Absolutely.
back. We should make this a regular.
There are some more clips of this. Let's take a look at them. I think they play Madden. Actually, I think I'll do these clips in reverse order. I don't know why I have them set up like this. There we go.
Are we going to play some ball, or what are we going to do?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm ready to play. Are you?
I'm ready to get beat.
All right.
Yes, I'm ready.
Let's do this thing.
Oh no!
They went from old school to, I think this is the most recent version.
You got a good quarterback.
He is. He is a good
Madden.
quarterback.
First tone of the game for James Cook.
Hey, who's playing who?
Nice run.
I tried. See, you're a pro though, so you can call.
That's true. That's true. He is a
I know what these
coach.
guys are doing, but I don't know which damn button to push to make my guy be a beast. And I keep going back to this. This is Project 2025 from Personal Freedoms. I think a lot of folks on here are kind of independent folks, independent thinkers about things. Why would you?
He's
want
running the
government
clock
to tell
over
you
here
what
right
books
now.
to read, or what doctor to see, or how big your family can be. That kind of stuff is ridiculous.
Look at him, completely aware, completely aware of the clock.
You know, you talk about football planning.
Gets a
it's the
few
same way.
yards
You're
on
gonna
that
draw
run.
up a playbook in
That's
football,
textbook right
You're
there.
going to use it. Those guys drew up a playbook, and it's Project 2025.
And they
are
put
gonna use it.
millions of dollars into
Millions.
Project 2025. You don't spend millions of dollars without planning to use it.
Oh, God, no. And it's all these people around him. And J.D. Vance said, I don't know anything about it. He wrote the foreword of the book of The Architect, who wrote that.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's go back, because there was one more clip that they said about Madden here. Look, is it this one? No, it's this one. I just wanted to do them in reverse order than I have them in my list. This is a message Tim Walz has for any Madden players.
Where Donald Trump's going, surrounding himself, as I said again, and I'll continue to say it, dipshits like Elon Musk and the people around him, people who have no interest. We got J.D. Vance calling a man who punched a poll worker a patriot. Illegal. This is unacceptable. And if you could not agree with the policies on this, but to agree that how we do our politics, what the democracy stands for. And I would encourage some of you, if you think it's too hard to do this, iwillvote.com. They'll take you right to it. It's a better tutorial than it's a better tutorial than Madden, even though Madden's a good one. But if you can learn how to punt on Madden, you can vote in any state. I'll guarantee you that.
That's for sure.
Go and do that. Get engaged. Make a difference, and don't let them take your power.
Yeah, voting is definitely way easier than playing Madden, not gonna lie. All you have to do is show up and fill in a bubble. All right, now let's go to environmental stories.
Hey, Greg. Buddy. It's 3 in the morning. We talked about this. Look, we all gotta do our displays of dominance, but some of us got work in the morning. I don't want to have to talk to the HOA again, Greg. You know I have Dorothy on speed dial. Oh, yeah? And who had a branch that crossed the property line? Yeah, who? Who, Greg? Who?
You cannot say that to him. Greg, are you okay?
He's fine.
He can speak for himself, thank you.
Yeah, I'm okay. It's not the first time I've heard it before.
Jesus, man. I am bringing this up to Dorothy at next month's meeting.
You really think I'm scared of Dorothy?
Well, you seem to have thought pretty highly of her when you brought up that branch last week.
It was past the property line!
It's past the property line. Now, if you don't know, the reason autumn is called hooting season is because owls hoot more during the fall to claim their territory. That's what that little video was on.
The association between bats and Halloween dates back thousands of years. It's based...
Yeah, let's talk this. Let's talk bats. And something that happens to be, in fact, threatening bats in a way that's bad for the ecosystem.
The association between bats and Halloween dates back thousands of years. It's based on the superstition that they're omens of death. And now, as Ali Rogan tells us, North American bats are facing a deadly threat themselves.
For nearly 2 decades, bats across North America have been decimated by a deadly disease called white nose syndrome. Patches of pale white fuzz caused by a fungus appear on infected bats. First observed in 2006, the pathogen quickly began spreading after appearing in New York State. It has since killed millions of bats across the country. Yet, according to recent reporting in the New York Times, for the first time in years, researchers are feeling hopeful in their fight against the disease. Carl Zimmer is a columnist for the New York Times and recently wrote about this. Thank you so much for joining us. So how did white nose syndrome begin, and why did it spread so quickly?
It originated in Europe, and in Europe, the bats there are able to fight it off. Somehow this fungus was able to get across the Atlantic. It's possible a traveler was exploring a cave in Europe, got it on his boot, and then they traveled to New York and the spore was spread here. But once it got to the United States, the bats themselves started to spread it across the entire continent.
You write about the shock that some researchers had when they came upon the first examples of this. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like for those researchers who entered these caves in the United States and saw the toll that this disease had taken on the bat population?
The first biologists who discovered white nose syndrome were just shocked because they would literally walk into a cave that they had been visiting for winters, studying hibernating bats for years, and there would be a pile of dead bats on the cave floor. They would see.
That is horrifying. Well, European bat fungus has apparently been threatening bats for years. They are trying to combat it. Of course, bats are an intrinsic part of the ecosystem. Even though they're scary, they are necessary. Now let's go and talk about a situation that has been... Actually, you know what? How are we doing on time right now? I might skip this because I want to just have some more fun here tonight, and it's already really late. So, let's go on to this. This is an interesting video. CNN from 14 hours ago. It's a short one, but a very interesting one. Let's ask a question here about where we get our energy from. Oh, wait, sorry. Wrong video. This is an AP archive video, has 0 subtitles, so it really doesn't... I mean, I could talk about it, but let's just move on.
We're standing here right next to the crater of the volcano, and it is an assault on the senses. I can hear the roaring of the magma as it spews up from underneath the ground over the side of the crater. As far as my eye can see is lava cooling with heat rising off it, spewing down towards the sea. And the smell in the air is thick with sulfur. It smells like eggs.
Experts say the volcanic activity in this area of Iceland is entering a new era of unrest. An era that could last hundreds of years. And this future underscores the complicated history that Icelanders have with volcanoes. A relationship that takes, but also gives.
Standing here, you get such a sense of the power of this volcano. And it's exactly this power that they're trying to harness in the north of the country. And if they can do it, and it's a big if, they say the potential could be limitless.
You heard her, folks. It's a potentially limitless form of energy. Truly incredible. And something I hadn't really considered all that much, but makes perfect sense. Just the matter of the harnessing it really being the main obstacle. But certainly is a great deal of energy that comes from volcanoes. Alright, let's stick to fun stories. And this is a insane story. I honestly thought this was fake.
Do? Oh, you got a fascinator. You're funny.
So I watched that. Let's watch that. Let's watch that again. Because, I mean, it genuinely looks fake. Like, snowy owls are supposed to be, like, a fifth the size of this thing.
Do? Oh, you got a fascinator. You're funny.
So yeah, thing is huge. It turns out it's a genetic accident, essentially. At least that's my understanding. I tried to research it in the limited time I had today after seeing this video, which was like, I don't know, 10 minutes? Alright, no. But, like, point is, like, from what I understand is, like, they were attempting to breed a specific trait into owls and wound up with, like, just literally a giant snowy owl the size of a human being. I know it looks fake. No, it looks fake, and I'm still, like, in my brain, it's like there's still this possibility that I'm being misled and that it's fake because it's fucking insane. All right, let's look at Tropical Storm Trammy, which hit Philippines just a couple days ago. The devastation has been just insane. The amount of flooding, number of people who have died is, I believe, now 150 so far that they've at least officially reported. That's fake. That's a fake owl. I swear to God, I did a little bit of research, not a lot. It was like 2 minutes of research while I was doing a bunch of other stuff. But all I could find was more footage of this owl at different sizes in its growth. That's and I mean, maybe it was just really good editing. And like, but like, there was also like a story I found about like, but like, I guess it could be fake. But my point is it seems to me plausible that with things like CRISPR and all these other sorts of stuff, like, I think it's entirely possible that somebody created a genetic freak snowy owl. I was absolutely blown away by it. Like I said, I was incredibly dubious about what I was looking at for at least a brief period of time. I'll probably look into it more because it really is fucking crazy. That owls are not supposed to be that big. That's honestly super scary. Like an owl that big. Like, no more going outside. That's it. Just daytime, everybody. Vampires, sorry, you're out of luck. You're gonna have to fight giant owls. But look at this. I mean, look at this freaking flooding. It's insane. Sorry, I'm still focused on the owls, which is not right. It's my bad. Hold on, I'm going to turn the volume back on.
Wala pambalo. Trauma din ang bata. Mamaya na lang sir. Tali, itapon nyo muna tali. Dito tayo sa aplikit tayo dito sa semento. Para hindi tayo makakit sa yero. Natabi ka mo tamo. Tamungan ka.
Bernardo Carino. Okay, siya napansin nyo. Saka nyo lang nalaman. Umaga nyo nang nalaman.
This is wild.
Mga video ako dun.
Okay.
So yeah, as you can see, the Philippines has not been doing great with this storm, nor have they been doing well with any of the storms that have happened this season. I mean, the death toll in the Philippines from storms this year is, God, it's got to be close to 1,000 people have died. I could be overestimating that, but maybe it's less. We've heard some crazy numbers, and the devastation has been utterly wild. Some of the flooding pictures I have seen just defied all logic. All right, let's go here. Here's another fun wildlife video.
Go on, that way. Go. Get out of here. Go on. Go.
I love how he's talking to him like a dog. Go
Take
on
off,
now.
Bud. Go on. Go. Go on.
Who's a good boy?
No. That way. Go on. Go on. Get out of here. Go. Go on. Go on.
Okay. What else we got? All right. That's all of the stories we got right now on the environment. I think we're just going to go straight into the Earth news, because I don't even have space news right now, and I just want, honestly, I just want to jam. I just want to go to the after, I just want to do the after hours super secret late night chill stream. It's the Sunday Funday. The world has been too tough. We've been talking about it quite a lot, and we know just how bad it is right now. We can just take a moment to think about what we're going to do here, moving forward on how to solve some of these things. You know, I find it easier personally to think about that stuff when I'm like listening to music or just relaxing sometimes. Not always, but oftentimes. Just momentarily at least, to sort of refresh yourselves and sort of... Whatever, let's move on. Let's go to... This is the Associated Press from earlier today, where apparently reports that Bolivia's former president Evo Morales is now claiming that his car was shot at in an apparent attempted assassination. They're really close. Duck, president, duck. Go, driver. Fast, fast. My head. In the car I arrived in, 14 shots. You could see them.
14 disparos a la cabeza del chofer.
One to the driver's head. He arrived bleeding. He got another shot that hit his arm. Luckily, none of them hit me. It's them, but they stopped at the sortidor. They failed. When all of them failed, the plan was to kill Evo.
El plan era, hay que matar al Evo. Hoy día se ha cumplido eso.
Wild. I mean, that footage was pretty convincing. I mean, the AP is sort of making it seem, to some degree, at least in the way that they've titled the video, seemingly sound dubious, but I don't know, it seemed pretty credible. Alright, let's go here. This is an interesting one. Certainly not the highest priority of anyone, I don't think. But it's Sunday Funday, so let's talk about it. Let's go to the UK, where let's talk about the apparent potential ban on disposable vapes in the sorry, did I say vapes? Disposable vapes. Disposable vapes in the United Kingdom, which is, I believe, on what do you call it? Potential like laws being discussed in Parliament right now. Uh-oh, stream software just froze. There we go.
I think it's an addiction, to be honest. There's loads of people that do it.
I feel like the ones that you have to refill and that, it's too much hard work and not having to buy the liquids and all that stuff, you know what I mean? I'd rather just go to the shop and buy a pack of ciggies.
It's children, young ones, are smoking that even though they've never smoked before, so it's not like they're trying to get over it. It's like I've smoked since.
I mean, it's not just children. I mean, I don't live in the UK, but I'm an adult who vapes, and I know plenty of adults who vape. So it's not just children. I mean, this woman clearly, I mean, she explains later, like she's just explaining right now, like that she's a smoker. So she just doesn't understand, maybe. She doesn't seem to have made the switch. But
even though they've never smoked before, so it's not like they're trying to get over it. It's like I've smoked since I was 13. So if I was to go on them, that's because I want to stop smoking, but they just go on them straight away, don't they?
The black market's huge today, let's be clear, and there is a direct link between those people selling illegal products illegally to youths today that actually, you could argue, potentially will blossom even further.
The shops have to hide cigarettes? Oh my god, did that ban go through on selling cigarettes to people over
as I've known it in some respects
under 18? I can't remember. Did that happen?
Sitting alongside us, we have
I know we talked
General
about it at one point.
Patrick Sanders.
13. 13 what? What are you talking about? That did go through? Huh. Interesting. I honestly thought it wouldn't. Oh, yeah, she did say she started smoking at 13. Yes. She almost said it with pride. Like, I've been smoking longer than the Conservatives held the government. Whoopsies. I just clicked on the wrong thing. What have I done? Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Alright, let's go here. To BBC, discussing the state of the world right now. After the recent development, reports saying that North Korean troops are now in Russia fighting alongside Russian troops in their war on Ukraine.
The world is as dangerous as I've known it, in some respects more dangerous than the Cold War.
Sitting alongside us, we have General Sir Patrick Sanders, Chief of the General Staff, in other words, head of the British Army between June 2022 and June this year. Patrick, welcome to our studio.
Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you very much for being with us. Obviously, you were high up, although not the head of the British Army when the full-scale invasion broke out. What was that period like? What can you recall for our listeners around the world?
So I was doing one of the other chief's jobs. I was in charge of an organisation called Strategic Command, which is where we have all the intelligence, special forces, cyber, space capabilities, and so on. And that meant that I was seeing the intelligence build up, which was extraordinarily detailed. And the only thing that we couldn't do was to draw a line between all of the forces that were building up and the planning that the Russians were doing and Putin's intent. And a lot of people misread Putin's intent, as we know.
Yeah.
Did you expect Ukraine to last this long?
No, I mean, no one did. In fact, most of the military planning that we were doing, because of course we've been there since 2014. We've had a presence in Ukraine. We've been working with them. And trying to build up their capabilities. And we thought that it would be we overestimated the Russian army, and there was a lot of hubris in how they conducted it. I think there was an arrogance, an assumption by the Russians that Ukraine would collapse, and of course they didn't. So I don't think anyone really read just how determined, how strong, how courageous, and how skillful the Ukrainians would be, particularly in those early weeks and months.
Before we get into the specifics of what's going on in this conflict right now, I just want you to cast an eye back over your 40-year career and give us an assessment of how unsafe the world feels now compared to previous periods in your career.
So I've had an almost circular career because I joined at the latter stages of the Cold War. Mm-hmm. My first 5 years were in the Cold War. And then we went through, the end of history, if you like, if you believed Francis Fukuyama, and that wonderful unipolar moment, which we really frittered away. And now here we are back into a potential conflict, certainly a really, really serious competition with great powers, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, this axis, if you like. And I think the world is as dangerous as I've known it, in some respects more dangerous than the Cold War, because the system, the so-called international order, which kind of kept us safe, had us in a period of extraordinary peace and prosperity for most of our lives, has ended, and we're reminded that actually that was almost unique in human history. Take the Russian experience between.
It's a very dark outlook on things. At least in the way that he's describing the current state of things. I'm not sure I would agree with all of his assessments, but we certainly are in a state right now of so many different conflicts. It seems to me, at least in my lifetime, the most conflicts that have been happening simultaneously.
And 1900, they only had one 25-year period of uninterrupted peace. So war is normal. It is sadly part of the human.
Thank you. All right, let's go here to. Okay, I guess all we got left now to do is Israel and the Middle East. Well, that nice. Wow, we were crushing it on time, which means we're just gonna get to hang out for a while here tonight, which I think is good. That's good. We deserve it. We deserve it. It's Sunday Funday. Alright, now this was from 15 hours ago. The Israeli police chief said that a bus ramming attempt happened in the north of Tel Aviv. Let's take a look at this. The incident is being investigated by the Israeli police as an attack. At this stage, we are checking all directions, and we have a lead of one kind we will let you all know. I'm sorry. Wait, what was that? Go back. We have a lead of one kind we will inform. The terrorist is a resident of the state of Israel. A resident of the state of Israel who are handling the incident. Now, he says he's a resident of the state of Israel. I believe, I looked into this, and I mean, this crash that you're seeing here, I mean, I saw some other footage that showed that it was like shot up, but it might have been a different situation. Actually, no, it does look like maybe there were some, like, it's hard to tell on this angle. But they're claiming it was a terrorist attack, and that he's an Israeli citizen. There's not a lot more information that's given on this, but you know, seems like things in Israel are getting worse and worse. Not just from the recent attacks that have managed to make their way through the Israeli dome, but within the state of Israel, people seem pretty upset. Speaking of which, let's go here to this Netanyahu speech earlier today. Well, earlier Sunday.
זכר קרוביכם
Seems like he's having a really fun time right now. Seems like he's really enjoying this. Now, there was a bunch of people that came to protest him, so let's look at some of these. But first, let's go to BBC to discuss it.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who's been talking about Israel's air attack on Iran early on Saturday morning. Mr. Netanyahu said the attack was precise and powerful and achieved all of its objectives. Iran's supreme leader says the attack should not be downplayed or exaggerated. Echoing that stance, Iran's president said that Iran will respond with foresight and intelligence. Well, here's the latest from our Middle East regional editor, Sebastian Usher.
What Mr. Netanyahu said in what were his first public comments, his office had made statements, but these are his first comments in public about the Israeli attack on Iran. I mean, nothing I think that you wouldn't expect, essentially echoing what the Israeli military had said, that these were precise strikes, military targets were attacked, and that it was highly successful and highly effective. He did also have a few words for the Iranian people, saying that Israel's battle wasn't with them. I mean, there has been an effort by the Israeli government to try to separate its actions against the leadership of Iran and all that infrastructure and the people. I think the aim.
Hold on. Yeah, let's move to this. This is footage of the speech here.
He was heckled quite strongly by people who were attending it, from families who had been involved in the attacks on October the 7th, Israeli families who had suffered from that. So that gives a sense still of the pressure, the tension and the dissent that there still is inside Israel itself. As for Iran, again, we're hearing the same messages from different levels of the leadership, which is really to be patient, that they're not going to do anything that quickly. What the supreme leader said essentially was that they will act in what they see as the best interests of the country. They have now asked for an emergency session of the UN Security Council to look at the Israeli attack. The Iranian
Yeah, well, Israel's been violating a hell of a lot of those UNSC agreements. That's for sure.
זכר קרוביכם.
Shame on you, Netanyahu. Apparently that's what they're saying. I don't speak Hebrew.
הזכיר הנשיא בפתח דבריו.
Dear families, the memory of your relatives,
אחיי ואחיותיי למשפחת
victims of
השכול.
terror, are imprinted in us.
משפחות
Its full
יקרות.
power.
זכר קרוביכם.
I mean, this goes on for a while. He just stands here completely silent for minutes. I can't tell whether he's amused or if he's ashamed. Hard to read the face of Benjamin Netanyahu. All right, let's go here. This is in Lebanon, city of Sidon, where Israel recently struck the city. Who knows if they have any supposed targets here like they're always claiming, but at least 3 people have died in this strike. Now this just looks to be a normal city area. That looks like a supermarket. Doesn't appear to be a terrorist stronghold. I guess it could be a terrorist grocery store. I'm not sure how that works. Alright, let's go here. This is footage of another Israeli military helicopter flying over Lebanon, as seen from the Golan Heights, which makes the footage pretty fuzzy. Not gonna lie. Also see smoke rising over the hill here. Shit, I just kicked. That appears to be white phosphorus, which Israel's not supposed to be using. I believe it's essentially considered a chemical weapon. You know, like what they accused Saddam Hussein of having. And Bashir al-Assad. People like that. I'm not saying that they were accused of using white phosphorus specifically, but that they were also examples of people in the Middle East accused of using chemical weapons against people. So I'm sure that the United States will be any day now condemning this practice. Oh shit, that was the second to last video. I'm so sorry. Everybody, great job for making it this far. We literally have only one video left. Wow. How quickly Sunday Funday comes to an end. But not really end, because we still have the secret. Super secret, in fact. Late night after hours galactic chill stream coming afterwards. But first, let's look at this just sort of sad, but I mean, to some degree good and good to see footage, because this is footage of a international charity on the ground in Gaza actually getting some people fed. Is it enough? Almost definitely not. Those who are not killed by the bombing are dying from starvation. This is our life. We are here at the mercy of Allah. It's hard to tell exactly what it is, but it appears to be rice and broth. Maybe it might be some kind of other grain. It's poor kids. They're so cute and like innocent, and they're being forced to go through these conditions right now, which are just inhuman and wrong. And stop! What the heck? It is not time for this yet. Way ahead of me here, YouTube. Thank you very much. Well, looks like that's going to be it for me tonight. I hope you all enjoyed. But, till I see you next, you stay classy, Galactic Stream Nation. Can't forget this. These are your galactic patrons: Gabby, Goth Dogs, Aaron W, Schmeckley, PB, Mitty, Aphroponics, Narwhal by Nature, Interplanet Janet, Techno Apoc, Robot Cat, Disco Wolf, Callie Brady, The Anti-Corporatist, Obsessive Audio, Mowinoib, Nadia, Choki, Mrs. Jen, Omega Star, Sasha G, Pitchforks Dragon, Vincent Morales, and Donald James X. That's right, all these people here have helped to produce the show which your eyes and ears have just gotten done enjoying. You can too for just a few US dollars a month. Well, before we start the super secret late night after hours Galactic Chill Stream, we do have one more thing to talk about. If I can find it. Oh my god. I've been doing way too much editing. Oh, these folders need to be organized. This is a disaster. Where is it? Oh boy. Where's the new one though? Oh my god. It's buffering? Really? It's not buffering for me. I see no buffer. Is it the audio that's buffering? God damn it. Where I should have had this ready. Oh, why do I insist on being not good? Be better. Ah, there we go.